to see part of me. I'll turn it towards you.
Okay, we are now live.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see what she's gonna do.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Feels so good to be here. Today, we're having a public hearing right before our actual board meeting. It will take us about 15 minutes before we do the swearing in. So if you guys will bear with us. Clerk Key, can you call the roll?
Yes, I can, Mayor. Trustee Holmes. Unmute yourself, Trustee. Trustee Norwood.
Here.
Trustee Steve.
Here.
Trustee Belcher.
Here.
Trustee House.
Present.
Trustee Brown.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Everyone's
Six present.
accounted for. Okay, so I'd like to call to order the public hearing of June 7th. We're going to start with a summary of public hearing in conference with the TIF Act in summary, a proposed TIF district. James Fazali.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I am James Vasselli and will introduce Kane McKenna and Associates for purposes of presenting for this public hearing. The public hearing is a required step in the statutory process to establish a TIF district pursuant to section 11-74.4-5 of the TIF Act. As will be explained by Kane McKenna, during this public hearing, anyone can comment or express objections or concerns with the proposed TIF district, which in this case is a part of a settlement of outstanding litigation. With that, I turn it over to Kane McKenna for their presentation for this public hearing. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm Bob Richlicki with Kane McKenna. My colleagues are also here, Lowell Durham and Mary Thompson. And I was wondering if did we have the ability, Madam Mayor, to do a share screen, or we had a short presentation. I don't know if that's available. If it is, that's great. If not, we could go on without it.
It is enabled. You should share. You should be able to share your screen.
Okay, that's part of my problem. I can't do it from my computer. We had sent it, I think, Lowell, did we send it on Friday to the village?
Yes, we were hoping that the IT person at the village would share the screen with it. I think it was in the email. It was in a PowerPoint.
All right, give me a minute. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, and if you can't, that's okay. We're prepared to go on without it. I mean, the board members would have that available, for future review. But we're okay with if there's a logistic problem, we can keep going.
Bob, I think while you're waiting, you could probably give the overview of why we're doing this TIF and how it came about.
This really started, at least from our end, when we got involved, was about 2 years ago. This is one piece of property. It's on 300 West Sibley. I think it might have been an old grocery store, old commercial building. And it's been vacant for a number of years. It was our understanding, and the then village attorney had briefed us, that in order for the village to take title to that property, there were not only the Cook County tax liens, but there were also some federal tax liens that were outstanding. So as part of the settlement, one of the things that and there were, like I said, federal tax liens that the federal agency required was that if the village was going to get the property at no cost, it was important that there be a redevelopment plan, that there was a plan to turn this over at some point for private development. And the idea was to have the village designate a TIF district, the TIF district that we're talking about. You already have 2 other districts in play. This one would be your third. And it was required, again, as part of the best efforts on the village in order to have the property ready for redevelopment. Well, We had to wait a few, oh, there you go. Hey, thank you.
There you go.
If you'd be able to punch over to the map, that'd be great. That's the third slide. I appreciate it. So as part of the TIF designation, we had to wait for what they call the base to be as low as possible. And that was going back and forth between the state, the county, and the village attorneys. And in order to get the lowest base, which is 0 because it's exempt and owned by the village of Dolton, we had to wait for the 2020 tax year to be certified. And that won't happen until June, middle of June. So as a result, we had to put this on hold for about a year. And then we really started on this process at the beginning of 2021. We're near the end of it. We had the joint review board a month or so ago. And we had basically that step out of the way. There were notices in the newspaper as well as to the village. There were notices to all residents within 750 foot of this shaded boundary area that you see. So that's taken care of in order to have this public hearing tonight. And Mr. Viselli could explain to you, there's not going to be any action taken. This is, as he indicated, you would get any questions from the general public, from the board of trustees. And then once the hearing is closed, then you have to wait at least 14 days before we can designate this or pass the ordinances and file with the county. If we could go on to the next slide, please. So again, this is a summary. It's going to be in the handout, or you guys could print this out as handouts for yourself. But this gives a little background, which I just described as to why the TIF was an important step in this process in order for the village to get title to the property. So if we could keep going, please, the next slide. So again, this area met the requirements under the TIF Act, was identified again because of the long-term vacancy and tax delinquencies with this area. It's an older building, is subject to many depreciation, deterioration. There was dumping in the back of the property. The idea was to use the TIF. The village could use the TIF to bring it back to productive use. So if we could keep going, please. So in order to do that, we're going to talk a little bit about what you have to do under the TIF Act. The area had to be greater than 1.5 acres. It is. We have the but-for requirement. Basically, what that means is you need the TIF in order to turn the property around. So that finding was made by the village, was again also part of that settlement agreement. If we could keep going, please. And we'll do a little, background on TIF. Like I said, as we understand it, the village has 2 other districts in play. It's important to note this is not a new tax. Taxes are levied as per usual. Taxes are collected as usual. What the TIF does, if there are any existing taxes on the property, and that's not the case here. This property, if we wait until the value is certified middle of June, it'll be 0. So any new development on this site would be to the benefit of the TIF fund. And the village, again, pursuant to the TIF Act, we have to spend that money in that shaded area that we saw on the map in order to help redevelopment and make the property, again, come back to productive use. If we could keep going, please. So, this is a little diagram that shows how TIF would work. I mean, essentially that gold line on the bottom is what they call the base. Any growth over that, in this case, it would all be growth because the base is 0. That light blue is, would be the new taxes, and they stay in the TIF fund, just like on your other TIFs, and you spend them for redevelopment dollars within inside the TIF. Once the TIF is done, and the maximum it could go is 23 years, that dark blue, all the value, all the improvement of the area accrues to the benefit of all your taxing districts, the county, the township, the schools. So the idea is that that revenue is deferred for a period of time, but at the end of the redevelopment period, so to speak, everyone gets access to those dollars once the TIF is completed. If we could keep going. So in order to, it's not enough that you have a property identified. We have the property identified here, it's 300 West Sibley, but you have to make certain findings, and Kane McKenna assisted the village Dolton in order to make these findings. There were 5 redevelopment or qualification factors out of 13. You need a minimum of 5. We looked at this area and we found, and this is what we do, our company has done about 400. And I think, Mary, we worked on TIF number 2
Yes.
in the village many years ago to
Yes.
assist on that redevelopment. That's further east down Sibley.
Mhm.
So we found 5 factors: obsolescence, and basically what that means is the property is no longer utilized for the purposes that it was built for. And that's the case here. We had the long-standing vacancies. Deterioration, unfortunately, it was present both in the structure and in the parking lot and the drive. There was, again, numerous instances of the deterioration, lack of community planning. And all that really meant is that this property was developed before, let's say, village, different uses, different plans were put in play for reuse of this property. Excessive vacancies, that again has been a number of years, over 5 or 7 years that the property's been vacant. And then with the assistance of the village staff, we identified numerous code violations, which also include dumping and also the condition of the property. So we found those 5 factors. That's in the report. That's been part of your plan. So this gives you the footing to go as a TIF district. If we could go to the next slide, please. Well, that's the area in question, a long shot. And again, it's the idea would be to redevelop that property. It's been vacant and non-productive for so long, hasn't paid taxes. The idea would be that at some point under village supervision, I mean, the board would make the decision what you want on that property. If anybody has an interest in it, the TIF is only a financing tool. You still have your normal planning, and Mr. Vaselli could speak to this. You still have your normal planning and entitlement factors, and any benefit from this area has to be approved by the board. So it's not automatic. The board has control over what happens with this TIF district. And we could go on, please. So there's a budget, and this is a 23-year budget. It's 10.5 million. And again, the money's not in a bank yet. Once the money starts to come, if you build a new building there or a new development and taxes are paid, then those taxes go into the TIF fund, which is separate from your other funds in the village. And this is just the outside. The TIF Act requires us to set up an outside kind of limit for, we could always amend this if needed, but we thought based on the size of the property and the kind of development that would be there, this would be adequate. This does not include what the private developer or business would pay. This is only, public or public related funding from the TIF district. The anticipation would be the actual project cost would be much larger than this. And again, this is over a 23-year period. It's a budget, but a budget over a longer period of time. And I think we go to the next slide, please. So we're at the process. There will be no action taken tonight. That plan has been on file with the village for a number of months now. It'll continue to be a draft until the board is ready to act on it. I think we have in our timetable your first meeting in July. And there are 3 TIF ordinances, which Mr. Vaselli's firm would prepare. Once the board considers those, certified copies of those ordinances would be filed with the County of Cook, and you would have another TIF district in place for 23 years. And again, there's 2 important points. The village is in control of its own destiny as it relates to this TIF plan as a financing vehicle, potentially if you get new development, and anything that's developed on there would be subject to village board approval. So that would conclude our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any public comments?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Is there still, from my understanding, and tell me, you can let me know if I'm wrong, that it was written in the, I don't know, lawsuit, or there has to be a box store, some type of food store, stipulations of what can go there?
I have not, the answer is, I don't know the answer to that. I thought the hope was you'd have as much flexibility as you needed. But I would have to ask, at a certain point, Mr. Vasselli, I think would have to look at the actual settlement agreement. But it was our understanding that it was flexible from the village's end, but we have to double check that.
Okay. 'Cause
I have a question.
I remember
I
discussion
have a question.
about that, but go ahead, Kiana.
Wait, let Trustee Steves finish. Go ahead, Trustee Steves.
That was the discussion last time this came up, that there were stipulations of what can go there.
I see.
So I think that's in the settlement agreement of what can go there. Has to be some type of box store, some type of grocery store.
Now, that could be, that could be. And again, as to whether you could amend that or whether, that's do or die, I am not 100% sure. The plan itself, this TIF plan that is before you guys and would be considered in July, is flexible. It'll allow you any kind of commercial or mixed use property. But again, you guys would have to check the settlement agreement to see if there's any limitations. But the plan that's in front of you allows for any kind of commercial use.
And Trustee Bob, trustee, to Bob's point, I will issue to the board a memorandum with regards to the parameters of the settlement agreement. We are still getting documents from the prior law firm. That is, for tonight's hearing, this is a statutory requirement. The ordinances will be introduced within 14 to 90 days thereafter. And within 7 days of today's date, you'll get a memorandum with regard to the parameters of the exact parameters of the settlement agreement. And I do know that the intention was to have a sales tax generating use on the site, which is the type of grocery store or big box retailer on there. But obviously, we always work towards flexibility in real estate development, which I'm sure my friends at Kane McKenna would agree with, and to allow for the organic and full development of the corridor with the TIF district. But within 7 days, you'll have a memorandum on the exact parameters of the settlement agreement.
Okay.
Who's that speaking? I don't.
That's James Vasselli. I'm special counsel to the village.
Okay.
We're working with Kane McKenna on the TIF district.
Okay.
Thank you, trustee.
Okay.
I just have a quick question. So does it state that it has to be a 23-year TIF? Is that?
That's-
Good question.
Yeah, that's the maximum you could go by law. You have the village, if it turns out things go better and you don't need the full 23 years, the board could make a decision to terminate it early. Right now, without knowing what the actual project is, the plan and the ordinances would provide for the maximum statutory period under the act. But I want to be real clear, if the actual project does better, when you look at the numbers, it looks like you don't need the 23 years, the board makes that decision to shorten it or terminate it. But right now, we're only keeping it the longest under law.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other trustees?
Mayor, if I can be recognized.
Yeah, go ahead, Trustee House.
Is the village allowed to be reimbursed for the administrative costs, like maintaining the insurance and certain
Yes, sir.
responsibilities?
Absolutely, trustee.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, Derek, are there any public comments to read into record?
There are no comments in regards to the TIF.
Okay, well, that concludes this public hearing. I would like to adjourn and go right into the actual board meeting.
Thank you,
Mayor,
Mayor.
can we-
Nice to see everyone. Thank you.
Mayor, can we take a vote just to close it out, the public hearing?
Sure.
Thank you. We need a motion and a second to
Clerky?
close the public hearing.
Clerk Key, can I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
Did we motion and second yet?
I'll motion to adjourn the public hearing.
I'll second.
it. Who second?
There was motion by Trustee House and second by Trustee Belcher. Call the roll.
Trustee Holmes,
Here.
trustee Norwood,
Here.
trustee Steve,
Here.
trustee Belcher,
Here.
trustee House,
Question, I thought this was an I.
Yeah, I.
Yeah, aye, yeah.
Yes, this is aye.
Absolutely, aye,
Okay.
aye.
Aye.
Understand.
and trustee Brown.
Aye.
Motion
Okay.
passed.
Okay, moving on to the actual board meeting.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're
All
welcome.
right, bye.
Thank you, board.
Thank you.
We'll see you
Okay, Mayor,
soon.
give me a minute to admit everybody else that needs to be on the board meeting. I see a SYATFD. I'm not sure who that is.
SYA. Whoever you are, can you show your picture? Okay, well, don't let them in. I don't know who that is.
And there's a Darren Murdoch in there.
Derek Murdoch. Can you show your photo?
Dan Murdoch.
Dan, are you there?
Other than that, everybody else is in.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, thanks for being patient with our public hearing. Now I would like to call to order the regular board meeting of the trustees on June 7th. Can you call the roll? Clerk Key.
Sure. Trustee Holmes,
Here.
trustee Norwood.
Here.
Trustee Steve,
Here.
trustee Belcher,
Here.
trustee House,
Here.
and trustee Brown.
Present.
All righty.
All right, all board members are accounted for. If you will, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you will remain standing, I'm gonna have Pastor Fletchman lead us in prayer. Pastor?
Let us pray. Gracious and eternal Father, first of all, we come to give you glory, honor, and praise. We lift up first one of our community members, Talita Creighton, in the loss of her husband. God, we pray that you touch that family and that you move in the way that they need necessary. God, we thank you for tonight as elevation is occurring. We pray, God, that you will provide everything that is needed for these new officers that are coming on to the team. God, we thank you that you will provide protection and guidance for them. Now, God, take complete control of this board meeting. We ask that thy will be done. God, whatever it is that you're desiring for us to do, whatever you are desiring for the community of Dolton to do, God, we pray that thy will be done. Inshallah, in Christ's name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay. And Board of Trustees and residents, we're gonna do something a little different this evening. We're gonna stray a little from the original agenda and we'll get right back on track. We have a house full of new police officers and a deputy chief for fire to be sworn in. So we're gonna go right into approval for that, and then we'll go right back to our regular agenda items. But also, if any resident is on here and you want to help as relates to someone that passed away, which Pastor Flashman just mentioned, Mr. Creighton, please reach out to my office or call my cell, 708-963-2137. Anything and everything is welcome. We're planning something for him. So, Clerk Key, we're gonna go right into the agenda with number 1. So, can I have a motion to approve the swearing in of Deputy Fire Chief Brandon Gatewood?
Mayor, I have a question.
Okay, we got to put the motion and second on the floor first, then we can do discussion.
Okay. Thank you.
I Make a motion to approve the swearing in of the deputy chief.
I second.
Okay, there's a motion and second. Any discussion?
Okay, what happened to Deputy Chief Rush?
Deputy Chief Rush will be retiring. He will be with us for 1 more year.
Okay,
He will be retiring.
okay, so he's 1 more year. So what would be his position as he's waiting to retire?
Currently, he'll be over ASDA.
Hmm?
He will be over ASDA.
Okay,
Any other questions?
okay, and a new fire chief came from where?
McCain, he came from the ranks.
No, I'm talking about the deputy chief came from where? The new deputy chief that we're swearing in?
We have
McCain
several,
is the fire chief, correct?
correct. You said the new chief came from where?
The new deputy fire chief.
So he has several different positions throughout the community. So he basically currently works, I believe, I want to say Phoenix. Is that right, McCain? Which ones is it?
Correct. He works full-time in Evanston and part-time in Phoenix as assistant chief.
So Evanston and Phoenix is the two.
Okay. So was this position ever posted or no? Was it on our website or did
No,
we
it was
look
not.
in-house?
We did several different interviews and he was the best
Okay.
candidate right now. So we did interview maybe 10 different deputy chief people and he was the best.
Okay. So there were any in-house or no? Within our fire department or no?
I believe one, was it one?
No, there wasn't
Yeah,
any interested candidates from inside, no.
Okay. Chief McCain said was no one interested inside the fire department currently.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, can you call the roll, Clerk Key? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm like, where you at? I'm so focused on this. You want to bring your computer out and join us? She got to go back in and get her computer.
Well, while she's going in, just one quick question. What's the pay?
He's
Okay,
he's
are you
only
guys
at-
ready?
Sure, 1 second. But you guys, please read your packages, but he's only at $30,000, 30. And you guys know better than me, a position like that makes $90,000. So he's at $30,000 to come help us here in the village.
I read the package. I just wanted, other citizens had questions, so I'm giving them the information that they may need. I read it though. Thank you.
Okay, but when you guys ask, and y'all know, y'all can just read it to record, but I'm just making sure. I'm ready, Clerk Key.
Okay. All right, Trustee Holmes,
Aye.
Trustee Norwood,
Aye.
Trustee Steve,
Aye.
Trustee Belcher,
Aye.
Trustee House,
Aye.
and Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Welcome aboard, Randy Gaywood. Okay, so we're gonna do the next one before we do your swearing in, so we can do them all at once and everybody can go enjoy. Come back out. Clerk, we're gonna do the second one, the police. Then we're gonna do them all at once as a swearing in. So you wanna go to your computer so we can do the approval of the police officers all at once so you can do swearing in and everybody can go. Yep. 1 second, guys. I know, she getting her steps in.
Okay.
Okay. You know you're ready. You ready, Clerk?
You ready?
Okay, thank you. Next, can I have approval of the swearing in of 3 patrolmen, 2 commanders, 1 inspector?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the swearing in of 3 patrol officers,
Mhm.
2 commanders.
Mhm.
The board is not okay with the inspector because we don't know who it is, what's his position, what's his pay. So we were okay with approving the 3 patrol officers and the commanders. That's my motion.
Okay, do anyone want to second that or revise his motion to approve the inspector as well?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so you guys are approving 3 patrolmen and 2 commanders?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any discussion? I'm sorry, any discussion?
The reason why I said it like that, and we agree with it, we don't know what's the inspector's position, who is he, what's the pay, what's that? That wasn't, for me, that's a new title or a new position. What is that position?
Okay, so let me just put this out here for the record for my new board. You guys get an agenda, a package. You guys have time to review it, go over it, and ask plenty of questions. I don't want us to ever look or be divided like we were in the past. And currently, you guys knew all this was on the agenda. Chief Collins is a great guy. You guys can call his phone at any time. I do it as well. And he normally answers any questions and tell y'all the who's who get paid what their title and what their duty consists of. I don't want it to look like you guys are shutting down the police, which you guys know we need like right away. The inspector is Sylvester Baker. He is on the agenda for approval this evening, and I will hope you guys will readjust your vote and vote for him to come on board with us. And I do have Chief Collins that can speak for his selection. He selected his officers. He is the chief, and he has to work with these officers. So I had no input as related to who comes on board with the police department. Chief, the floor is yours.
Trustees, if there are any questions that I can answer in regards to this position of police inspector?
Yes, what is it? What is the police inspector? What is that position?
What I did was, instead of naming that position a commander, which ultimately would have been approved, I'm suspecting, I adjusted that position, same pay, there's no pay difference, same pay as a commander. However, the police inspector will be in charge of policy, which we need someone to keep an eye on policy because that's the biggest area where police departments get in trouble, and also accreditation manager and also internal affairs division, so that we can have one central point that will make sure all policies are up to date and conform to United States Supreme Court standards and best accepted practices across the nation. And also one point where our accreditation, so that we can be on a national level with other police departments that are seen widely as best accepted practices. And also with internal affairs, so that every officer complaint is inspected and investigated by one central point, so that we can get the best transparency and show the citizens that we are trying to be open and honest about our investigations and the resolution of our investigations. So the inspector will help develop DPD policies, seek out best practices, maintain up-to-date policies, which we do not have anyone to do that on a daily basis, monitor and ensure policy training is conducted and entered into the employee files, ensure police department policies and procedures are evaluated against established criteria and in compliance with those criteria by an independent and authoritative body, to conduct accident review hearings, compromise the various members of different levels of department to determine cause and if any policies were violated, to review all recommendations for discipline, to conduct internal investigations, interrogations, and prepare reports with recommended courses of action, to assist the chief and or the deputy chief of police with any special projects. The police inspector would be a vital member of the Dolton Police Department's command staff with functional responsibility and interaction within and outside of its organization, the ability to effectively communicate and collaborate across these networks.
Okay, thank you, Chief Collins. I do have 2 questions because I did ask about the commanders, and I was under the impression that Sylvester Baker was going to be a commander. So you're saying he's going to be the inspector. So who are the 2 commanders?
Okay, so originally, if you can still hear me okay, he would have been a commander when I reevaluated this position. And if I have someone that's going to be investigating misconduct, I do not need that person doing the investigation at the same rank as the people that he may have to investigate. He needs to be a rank higher. However, with that rank, it does not come with a pay increase. The pay stays the same. So we're not shelling out any more dollars than we have to. But the other commanders are Sergeant Price, who currently runs 3 divisions. Commanders usually run 1 division, but he's running it as a sergeant. and we have commanders running the division. That's why he would be elevated to the level of commander to fit the position that he's already in. And the other commander will be for, give me 1 second. The other commander is so that we can have one person dedicated to community outreach, response, and engagement, so that we have one person doing community policing, taking care of neighborhood walking, everything that has to do with community policing. And if you would bear with me, I'll give you the job description of our core commander. The commander, community outreach, response, and engagement will seek to build relationships and trust between the department and the community while leveling best accepted practices in community outreach, community policing, and community engagement. The core commander will be instrumental in uniting various entities within the village of Dolton for common goal of increasing public safety and enhancing the quality of life of its residents. To coordinate community policing meetings, community policing events, Project Connect, National Night Out, and crime-free housing seminars, to field community concerns and coordinate immediate responses to matters, to generate and respond to email, field phone calls, text messages, and anonymous tips and complaints, and will measure the correct and appropriate responses, to make site visits and meet with community members and community stakeholders, collaborate with the patrol commander to draft immediate neighborhood response to incidents and problems in the areas, to solicit input from all department members on how to strengthen community relations and utilize that feedback to develop and implement strategic plans, to meet and develop relationships with school administrators, identify public safety needs and what available resources they have that can be used to help combat crime, i.e. student truancy, build layout diagrams, building access, develop and design and develop and launch a community policing police academy to promote crime prevention through environmental design. The commander, community outreach, response, and engagement is a vital member of the Dolton Police Department's command staff with interactions across all levels of the departments and externally. Performance in this role will have a direct effect on community relations, trust, and support.
Okay, so who is that person? You never gave the name. I'm sorry.
Identified, I'm sorry, I did not name that person. Her name is Inez Riley. She is a retired Chicago police officer.
Okay, one last question, and I'll be done. Did Sergeant Price receive? You said his pay will remain the same as a commander,
That is correct.
and do we have the pay for the inspector and the other commander, since the inspector is a new position?
Yes, both at 55,000, which is way below what our current command staff would be making.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I want to say one thing. Great explanation, Chief. And just because we asked a question doesn't mean we're trying to shut it down. That question brought out the great explanation, which people in the town and people who are watching really need to hear the explanation, and the village needs to hear. So great question, great answer. We can move on.
Understood.
Okay, so does that mean you're going to adjust your motion to add the inspector in?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't a great answer then. Okay, anybody want to amend his motion, or everybody are cool with 3 patrolmen and 2 commanders?
I'll be recognized.
Go ahead, Trustee Holmes.
Yeah, I think we should move forward with the inspector included. I mean, we're working together to build this village. And also, everything has been explained, and like you stated, it has been out there, and we had ample time to talk to the chief and get all this together. And we have ample time on our own to talk to some of the residents on our own. So I'm saying in agreements with the 3 patrolmen, the 2 commanders, and the 1 inspector.
Mm-hmm. So is your motion to amend?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Anybody want to second his amend motion? Okay, hearing none, back to the original motion, 3 patrolmen and 2 commanders. Any more discussion? Okay. Board of Trustees, for future reference, I will hope y'all will definitely increase the police department. We need so much things, whether it's tasers, equipment, vehicles, and we need more bodies. The number one complaint that residents complain about is crime within Dolton, whether it's a shooting, carjackings, or home invasions. We have to make Dolton better. You guys vowed to do so, and I'm kind of shocked that you guys are actually taking away instead of adding on for our police officers. I thought that was a great idea to put an inspector in place. We do need that, so maybe later on down the line, you guys will entertain that and bring an inspector on. Other than that, I'm finished. So you can roll call. Roll call, Clerk Key.
Trustee Holmes,
Aye.
Norwood. Trustee Norwood,
Aye. Aye.
Trustee Steve,
Aye.
Trustee Belcher,
Aye.
Trustee House,
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 6-0. So we're gonna pause for a minute and do the swearing ins. Okay, Clerk Key, you come out now.
I don't know if I want to hear the rest of them. Why you don't come? How you feeling? I'm good myself. You looking good? Yeah. How's the family? Oh, good, good. Good. You too, now always good to see you. I know. No, I'm the school board 205. Oh, okay. You over there with the church over there? Dickinson? Oh, Dickinson 205. That's going to the Oh, okay. That's good. Congratulations. All right, thank you.
Congratulations.
This one didn't get sworn in.
Okay, Clerk Keys, you got to scoot over in your chair. You hear me?
I'm sorry, what did you say, trustee?
You got to go over a little bit in your chair.
Wait a minute, I still got noise.
I said, you got to line up in your chair.
I was sharing my screen,
I
but
know,
now
you
it's
see me
just
doing
me.
like this, look.
So now it looks like I'm sitting in the chair. For
Right.
real.
Oh,
Under
you
the
got it
chair
now.
next to me.
You
Yeah,
got
there
it.
we go.
You got it.
Yeah.
I know I seen you had a room full, so an office full.
Yes, I did. Here we go. Hey, good.
How you doing?
Okay, hi, we're back. What time is it? 7:47 p.m. We're gonna go back in order of the agenda, and we're gonna start with general announcements, and then we work our way back down. So do any trustee have any general announcements to make?
Hello, Mayor, I do.
Okay, Trustee Norwood, you have the floor.
I would just like the community to know that I am having a community cleanup. The community cleanup will be this June 19th. We'll be meeting at the Village Hall, 14122 Martin Luther King Drive at 9 a.m. We plan to start at 9:30 a.m. And I have partnered up with some people in the community. So I partnered up with Dolton Park District. And after the cleanup, we'll head to Dolton Park District celebration. They're having a Juneteenth celebration also the same day. So I figured the volunteers and I and the rest of the community can go head over. They'll have face painting. We'll have bouncy houses. If any fathers out there would like to participate, feel free to do so. They're having a basketball tournament for the fathers. So you all can come out. I'd like to thank two of my sponsors, one is Ambulance. Thank you for helping us sponsor the event. I also have the Interest Entertainment venue. So they came to support, and I hope that anyone who would love to come out and give us a helping hand with cleaning up that day. If someone needs to reach me, feel free to call me at 708-968-4297. And I hope to see you all there.
All right, thank you. Make sure you guys add that to your calendar. Again, Trustee Norwood, what's the date?
June 19th on the Saturday. And don't let me forget to have my other trustees that's on the committee with me, Edward, Steve, and Jason House. I want to thank them also for all the input, all the help, and the great ideas.
Okay, thank you so much. Any more announcements?
I got an announcement.
Okay, Trustee Steve.
As we all heard that Mr. Creighton passed away, your longtime resident, and him, the Creighton family. And Wayne Adams passed away as well. Wayne Adams was the man, I think he was 102. We named the street after him. Last year, he passed away as well. So let's keep the family in our prayers. And I would love for our board and the mayor, we named the street after Wayne Adams. We should come together and collectively try to do something for Mr. Creighton and his name, because he was such, they were consistently faithful to Dolton and raising a whole family here. I think 6 children they raised here, and that's commendable. So is there something that we can come together and do something in remembrance of Elder Creighton?
Well, thank you for that information, Trustee. I am working on renaming his street after Mr. Creighton. I did speak to village administrator, and she's working on putting it together for next board meeting.
Good stuff.
Great news.
Good stuff.
Thank you. Any other trustee?
Just one for me as well. Just kind of echoing Trustee Steve, Mr. Creighton was such a pillar and a great man to talk to, and so I didn't want to go without acknowledging all the contributions and the great individual and the great counsel that he's been given over the years. And my prayers with the family, and I think everybody just really, really lift up the Creighton family. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other general announcements? Okay, hearing none. Village Administrator's Report. Clerk Brown.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening to all the Board of Trustees and to the residents of the Village of Dolton. I've been the village administrator about 21 days, and I've been working to ensure that we provide services to the residents of Dolton in the most efficient and effective manner. I've also been working to ensure that the Village of Dolton is receiving all of the revenue that we are authorized to receive. And here are some of the things that I've been doing. First of all, I commenced an assessment of the various departments to ensure that they are operating in the most effective and efficient manner to serve the residents. I started with the water department. We've already seen many ways that we will be able to improve the system. Ultimately, I want to ensure that the water bills are accurate and are being billed and paid in a timely manner. I will be analyzing all the departments, and I will be analyzing their ordinances and the state statute that they're supposed to follow to ensure that we have properly implemented all of the ordinances and the state statutes, because generally there's a lot of time there is a disconnect between the actually passing of ordinances and state statutes and the actual implementation. We also recently hired a free virtual intern. Her name is Jiling Yao. It's a special program. It's free to Dolton. She's a graduate of Boston University. She will be attending Harvard in the fall, getting her master's degree. And she's helping us with customer service and responding to customer inquiries. We hope to hire other interns that are free to Dolton and that are virtual. And we also hope to hire some interns from Governor State and South Suburban College. So if anyone knows of an intern that would like to provide free services and get credit, college credit, we'd love to have them work for us. I met with the Cook County Assessor, Fritz Kagi, and he assigned to me a staff person. My interest in meeting with Fritz Kagi was to make sure that we have the universe of Dolton as it relates to property taxes established, that we're getting all the property taxes that we're supposed to get. And so he assigned a person to work with us, and they're going to be downloading a database where we can actually do data analytics. And this is what the virtual intern will work with me on to ensure that any individual that's getting a senior tax exemption, receiving a principal resident exemption, or claiming a vacant property discount is properly doing so. So that's going to be a project that we will be working on. I also contacted the Illinois Secretary of State, and I determined that our database of vehicle stickers, because the first thing I wanted to look at was because we're receiving payments for vehicle stickers right now, I wanted to make sure that when we mail them out, that we mail them out to everyone that has a vehicle in the Village of Dolton. So I contacted the Secretary of State, and I found out that we have not updated our database for several years, so that people have moved into Dolton, purchased vehicles, and we have not been sending them out vehicle stickers. I am working on an application to get that to the Secretary of State so we can update our database, and we will be sending out vehicle notifications, vehicle sticker notifications, those individuals that moved into Dolton in prior years and did not buy a sticker will be sent a notification and requested to pay for the prior years as well as the current years. This is my effort to make sure that we are getting all of the revenue that Dolton is supposed to receive. I met with our village engineer, Ron Smith, and went over the infrastructure grants that are in process and those that can be applied for. And I'm working closely with Ron to ensure that we meet all possible deadlines. I have asked our information technology team member to provide me with a list of all of the various systems, because we have a lot of disparate systems within the Village of Dolton. And we want to make sure that we are getting, and if they're all working effectively. And if in fact a different department can work with a system that currently exists, we want to make sure that they are interfacing with each other. My primary goal will be to determine that we are capturing the universe of possibilities for collections for property taxes, vehicle stickers, water bills, business licenses, permits, and the like. We must make sure that the Village of Dolton is properly collecting the revenue it is already legally authorized to collect. And that's what I'm working on moving forward. I also commenced a bi-weekly meeting with the management staff. And I informed them, and the mayor directed me that I could have a bi-weekly meeting with the management staff to ensure that we're all working as a team. I've asked them to make sure that within their department, if they are aware of grants, if we want to make sure that they also are working in the most cost-efficient manner and bringing in additional revenue for the Village of Dolton. So working in a cost-effective manner and raising revenue are two important things that of course, I'm working on. And finally, the mayor has given me permission to ask the accountant as well as the attorney to research the possibility of crowdfunding and crowd granting. Crowdfunding and crowd granting are two funding mechanisms for small capital projects that have been used throughout the country by many cities. And the state and states, the state of Michigan and the city of Boston are two locations that have used it most effectively. And we want to look at how crowdfunding and crowd granting can possibly be used by the Village of Dolton, even some of our local communities, to do special projects. So I will be reaching out to our accountant as well as our attorney to have them research this concept on behalf of the Village of Dolton. So these are the things that I have been working on in this 21 days, and we hope to do as much as possible to bring as much revenue to Dolton, as well as bring cost-effective policies to Dolton as well. Are there any questions from any of the trustees?
Administrator Brown, this is Trustee Brown. I have a question.
Yes.
I've always talked about this for the last 2 years. The vehicle stickers, of course, it costs us for printing and postage of people who no longer own those vehicles. They're still getting that form for vehicles that they no longer have. Is there some kind of way we can actually minimize that process?
Well, we do have, and we have identified that. As a matter of fact, we also have a lot of stickers that are actually coming back. But what's happening is this, as I indicated to you, I've contacted the Secretary of State to send me an updated database. The database had not been updated since 2017. So there's a lot of revenue that we have missed, and a lot of people that have received vehicle stickers that vehicle sticker notifications for cars that they have actually sold. So with this updated database that we will receive, that should also rectify that problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Village Administrator, you sound like you've been very busy, but thank you for working in the best interest of our community.
I have been very busy for the 21 days, Trustee.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Does that conclude your report, Clerk Brown?
That concludes my report. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Next, we have Village Clerk Report, Allison Key.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, residents. I'm requesting approval of the minutes for May 8th special meeting, the inauguration, May 12th special meeting of the Board of Trustees, and May 17th special meeting of the Board of Trustees.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, there's
Okay.
a motion by trustee House and a second by trustee Belcher. Can you call the roll?
Okay, trustee Holmes,
Aye.
trustee Norwood,
Aye.
okay, trustee Steve,
Aye.
trustee Belcher,
Aye.
trustee House,
Aye.
and trustee Brown.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have corporate bills. Trustee House, floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm going to read, we have two different packets for our bills. So I'm bringing them up. So if you could bear with me just a moment. We have the electronic warrant list, which are items that come as ACH deductions from our bank account, as well as the warrant list of checks that are to be printed upon approval from the board. So the first I will be reading into the record is the electronic payments. I'm sorry, the first I'll read is the warrant list for the bills that will be paid, which is corporate payment registers number 189, which has payments of $891,263.20. Gross payroll for May 7th, $325,950.20. Gross payroll May 21st is $350,251.73. Melanie Fitness Center register for 189 is $3,016.23. Gross payroll for May 7th, $900.11. Gross payroll for May 21st, $918.11, with total corporate payments, $1,572,299.58. Next, I'll read into the record the payments for our ACH deductions, which is corporate payment register number 188 with payments, ACH payments of $69,888.61. Water fund payments, $291,794.04. Manual checks of $12,247.82. So total payments, $373,930.47. Is there a motion to approve the corporate bills?
I make a motion that we approve the corporate bills with the exception of some items. Marvelous Media Group, we can pay $1,250. It was an invoice for $4,600. Mario's Backyard Eats, I'm asking to have that removed. And Warren Mohammed, I'm asking to have that removed.
Trustee House, can I piggyback off of trustee Belcher?
I think we need a second to the motion and then it goes into discussion, trustee Brown.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who second? I'm sorry.
Okay, here, I got it. So there's a motion on the floor from trustee Belcher to remove certain items from the warrant list, and it's been seconded by, what's that, trustee Brown?
Trustee Steve.
No.
Oh,
Trustee Steve.
Any discussion?
Okay, I have also some items on the warrant list as well. For the Mad Bomber fireworks, what is that for?
That's the fireworks show that we've been speaking of that you guys approved via last board meeting for $5,000 from the village. The park is giving $5,000 as well, so we all agreed to go forward with that.
Okay, this is for $3,000. Are we just paying partial payment and we will pay the rest?
I wouldn't know, Chris. I don't know what invoice they turned in, but I know the Mad Bomber is the fireworks.
Okay, he has it on here for $3,000. That's why I questioned. It's
Right.
$3,000 for Mad Bomber fireworks. $3,000.
What page?
The Bill's Grill, the DJ Experience, A King's Cleaning Facility, and also Steve has a reimbursement for what?
Okay, let's back up. So to follow you and the board can follow you, what page are you on?
I'm on page 7.
Page 7.
page 8 and page 9.
So page 7, what's the line item?
For the photography,
Okay,
the $1,474.33. You said the Mad Bombers, it might be the wrong
yeah, you got
amount, because it says 3,000 here, but we
Yeah,
said
that's-
5,000. So
yeah.
that's 3,000.
Okay, let me respond to you. So the Mad Bombers, it says fireworks on there. So
Yes,
our-
it says Mad Bomber fireworks for 3,000 and not the 5,000. So I was asking, is that a partial payment or what?
Okay, I'm trying to respond to you, trustee. So
Okay.
the Mad Bombers is on there for $3,000. The board agreed for $5,000. So my assumption to that is it's just a deposit. So they just told me it was just a deposit from us, the village, to do 3,000.
Okay.
We have to pay the difference of the 2,000.
Okay. Only thing I asked on the warrant list, if they can actually break these things down. Now for the Mario's Backyard Eats, what she said, these are inauguration items, those two, in the A King cleaning facility. Is the
Okay.
village responsible for payment? We got a left promotions.
Let me start with one.
Promotions and then a Sunny Black Productions.
Okay, trustee Brown.
Okay,
Let's
we'll go back.
so everybody can follow.
We'll
and
take it one page. I'll go back, Mayor.
the
Page
fireworks,
6.
I explained that one.
You
And
see
what was
page
the
6?
media group? On page 7, the media group?
Yeah.
Okay, which one you said you wanted to remove or you had a question about?
That the photography too for the inauguration photos.
Okay.
Is that Kareem photography for the $1,474?
Is that it? On page 7?
That's under the Marvelous Media, and then you got TKB Associates Incorporated, and then you got that's right under that one.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
right above the Mad Bomber fireworks.
Okay, so I see the footage. Is that the one you asking me about?
Right, so that one is for, now this is an inauguration item along with 4 other things that are inauguration items.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. The media, the Marvelous Media Group is not an inauguration item. That's actually footage. You see it say Foot Patrol videos, stuff we've been doing.
Okay, I'm saying the one that says the 1474 is an inauguration item.
Okay, it's
okay.
So
That's
that
an
was inauguration photos. That is for $450. The rest of them was headshots that all the trustees received. And
okay, so on page 6, Sunny Black Productions, a PSA inauguration, and then left promotion. Hold on, left promotions and I apologize. Let me put them up. I apologize, Mayor. He got spooked. I apologize for that.
Okay.
So you see on page 6, the Sunny Black Productions.
Okay.
And the left, is it Let Promotions LLC?
I can answer about the Sunny Black. Sunny Black, Tammy, is Wally, the one who's been recording this stuff for the last 2 years. He recorded.
Okay, my only question is this, trustee. Is the village responsible for paying for everything for the inauguration?
Yes.
Were we at a dollar amount, set dollar amount or no?
Okay, so we are responsible for paying for anything at inauguration. The reason being is it was an actual legal board meeting. So anything that we acquire as an expense, we can pay for it. It's legal. I can also have the attorney chime in if you like to give the legal explanation of why the village is at risk of paying for inauguration. Attorney?
Okay, was it not a board vote or no? It didn't need to be approved or no?
No, but I'm gonna let her speak to you. So
okay,
go ahead, Attorney Rice.
So we reviewed the local ordinances and rules, and there is a special event fund that already accommodates these types of events. And because it was a public meeting and it was catered to the public. I understand, I believe one of the invoices was actually the food invoice for the food vendor. This was no different than any other special event that was approved by the village. It was a public board meeting, and that's why it would be appropriate. And there's a prior appropriation for these expenses in your budget for the special events. And you had public attendees, and you basically fed the public, and it was conducted in the proper manner. So that's why it would be okay for you to approve the expenditures related to that meeting.
Okay, is there no certain amount, or it's just?
Within the budget, just there was no amount for, as far as the total amount for the inauguration, it would just come out of your special committee fund, and you spend down until you exhaust the budgeted amount.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
So for the attorney.
All right.
So
Any other questions?
for the attorney, so what budget is that coming out of?
Okay, okay, 1 second, guys. I don't know. We can't hear anyone. I don't know what happened. Derek.
Yes.
Man.
Can you hear me?
Okay, whew, yes, we back. Okay, go ahead. Anybody else have questions? Was you done, Trustee Brown?
Trustee Belcher had a question, Mayor.
Mayor, I had a question. So she said it's coming out of the special event budget. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's based on 2022?
We're in budget now, so it will come out of that budget.
In the budget that we don't have yet?
Correct.
That's what I'm asking. Okay. And then she said one other thing. She stated that it was approved, but who was it approved by if it came out the budget?
No, I don't believe the attorney said that it was approved by any.
That's why I was trying to get.
Okay,
It was going in and out, so I wanted to get clarity.
Okay,
That's all.
She said it didn't need to be approved. It didn't need to be approved because it was coming out the special event fund. So it didn't need approval, board approval.
But I thought over a certain amount it needs board approval.
You can still give board approval. I didn't see anything that required a prior approval when it's already accounted for in your funding.
Okay, I just want to know for clarity.
I couldn't hear you, that last part, Trustee. We keep going in and out with the audio.
She said
I just
okay,
wanted to make sure for clarity.
Okay.
Just one other question, attorney. So you can go ahead and spend these funds and then approve it later? Is that what you're saying?
You can spend funds and get board ratification. As long as there's appropriation for it and the budget for it, the board can ratify the actions. Just like when you do a poll vote on action items and then you approve it at the next board meeting, it's similar to that.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, Mayor, I have a question. How much money is in our special events budget? Do we have a certain amount geared towards the special events budget?
It's a fund, but Chris, are you on?
Yes, Mayor.
Can you tell her how much money is in that fund?
Give me 1 second. Special events. 1 moment. We have budgeted for special events $30,000.
All right. Any other questions?
I want to be clear.
Wait 1 second, Trustee Steves. Trustee Norwood, are you done or you got another question?
Yeah, so I take it, well, never mind. I take it that he'll get it to us soon, so that'll be okay.
You have a question? Okay, go ahead, Trustee Steves.
Question. So this is, from my understanding, anything above $5,000 has to come before the board. But when special events, you're saying that we can spend that money before it's actually approved if it's over $5,000? Is that what the attorney's saying?
She's on.
No, I'm asking Attorney Welsh. Is that what you're saying? That we can spend this money over $5,000 that needs board approval, but we can spend that before we actually approve?
Well, that's what I was saying. If does it require prior approval under your local ordinance for special events? There was nothing that I saw that required prior approval, but each of these expenses were under the $5,000. And that's why we're bringing it to the board currently to approve those individual expenses. So there wasn't any one expense that was over $5,000, but they're being brought to you collectively for approval. And if when you totaled them all up, they're all within the budgeted amount or the amount that was approved and set aside for special event funds.
Okay, because I know last meeting we approved $6,900 payment, but that was spent before we actually got a chance to approve, but we approved it. But this stuff now is under $5,000, but the first thing we approved that was spent was over the $5,000. But we approved it, but it was definitely over that amount.
Right, I believe those were a combination of invoices. I don't recall seeing one invoice for $6,900. If I recall correctly, it was multiple ones. I don't have the specifics off the top of my head, but I do believe there were multiple items that were combined.
No, the last meeting, other trustees, it was the caterer. It was $6,900 exactly.
Alone, I don't remember.
No, you got it wrong, Trustee Steve. It wasn't a lump sum of $6,900. It was 2 or 3 different invoices from party planners, I don't remember the company that we approved.
Yeah, probably from one vendor.
Correct.
That one vendor was about $6,900 from that one vendor.
But okay, to answer your question, because I think you're getting off track a little bit with what she's stating, that I did not spend $5,000 at one time. Just like you see invoices here, you might see $1,000 for video footage or $450 for photos, and then it adds up. So I never spent over my threshold of $5,000. So that's what she's stating.
Okay, so this is Trustee Belcher, and I know we may sound illiterate. This is my first board meeting where there's a warrant list, so please, I want to ask questions, but I would definitely like to, attorney, when you get a chance, give me the ordinance number for what you're reading off of. But if you're saying, so I just want to be clear, you're saying no one invoice can be more than $5,000 or what? No event, because based on this, and we've been in office a month tomorrow, $15,000 of the special event budget has already almost been depleted.
Well, I don't want to say you're right because I haven't added it up, but
it's my understanding though it's based on expenditure. It's based upon expenditure.
So as long as one, so you're saying as long as one invoice is not $5,000, then it can be spent without the board approval. I just want clarity, and I would like to know the ordinance number at a later date of what you're reading from.
Okay, I can get you that opinion.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Mayor, if I can be recognized, please.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so I mean, a couple of different things. What we're talking about is, of course, a budget. So we have, I mean, Chris mentioned some things that in terms of being within budget, the ordinance that, as I understood it, similar to Attorney Raines, was $5,000 and under would not be within board approval. My belief on the intention was that we make sure we don't have large projects that exceeded. So I didn't interpret it as an individual, I interpret it as a collectively, but the big thing is that we all communicate so that way we're on the same page. So it's important for us, of course, that we get the budget so that way we're talking real numbers instead of what we're committing without a budget. And also, but all items from what I've seen have been under the 5,000 threshold. Collectively, it's over 10,000, and I think that's why it's bringing board conversation. But I just want to make sure that, of course, we are all communicating with each other to make sure that the items are approved across the board.
Okay. You guys all
my
know.
comment.
Okay, you done?
Yes, yes, Mayor.
Okay. Anybody else have anything else as it relates to the warrant list?
It was a couple of other questions, but at this point, I guess I'm a little uncertain about some things. And of course, I know you say call to find out, but a lot of these things may have been stuff that I'm just not aware of. But it's like a lot of janitorial services on here. So I kind of had questions about that. Maybe we do have 4 or 5 different janitorial services, but I guess that would be, I don't know who I would talk to find out, but I do see multiple janitorial services of cleaning for 1 month. So I know it may seem tedious, but at the same time, we all took an oath to be good stewards of the village's finances. So that's why I'm asking these questions.
Okay, so for the record, Board of Trustees, I respect everybody to the utmost here. All I want you guys to do is, if you have all these questions, you guys just saw me, just met with all of you guys. And if you had questions, concerns, or anything, we could have went over it instead of doing it here, which you guys know, the public said they don't like it this way. So that's why I extended the olive branch and sat and met with everybody. So if you had concerns like you do now, as related to any item on this warrant list, we could have went over it. So I don't want it to be like picking or nitpicking at one another about anything. I will answer any question, but I don't want to spend all this time on certain items when we can move on. Lately, our board meetings have been going really smooth, and I want to continue it that way. My door will still be open. I'll answer any questions. So Trustee Belcher, if you do have another question, let's put it on the floor and move on.
Okay, so just for a comment and for the record, I don't think that you saying that the people said that they don't want to see it. I don't think we're bickering at all. We're asking questions, that's valid questions. And just like things that's being put in front of us, if somebody has a question and you say, yeah, we were together, but we couldn't talk about business. So, I mean, we could be together, and if we can't talk about business, that doesn't suffice. So I don't think that we're bickering at all. So I don't want you to think that just because somebody asked a question or it's not of what you believe, it's a question that I'm just asking. So I'm sorry if you feel that I'm being combative, but I want to know.
Okay, so we work together, and everybody know that. So when we are together, everybody can go 2 on 2 and they can go and talk about village business. We're not just together to hang out. We're there to build a relationship. I'm not saying anyone's bickering per se. I'm saying that we don't have to spend all this time on the warrant list, because we could have got all these questions answered and we would have had a better understanding before now. That's what I'm stating to the Board of Trustees. So for future references, if we can get an understanding as relates to the warrant list, which I know Janice sends out on Thursday, it has nothing to do with the agenda. The warrant list goes out first, and then you can ask your questions, whether it's to a department head person or myself. And that way you'll get the right answer, and we don't have to go back and forth over, pull this, take this off, because people did do a service and they deserve to get paid for the service that they did. So if we have no more questions, I will move on to the motion.
I just have one thing, Mayor. I apologize. I wasn't present, so that's the reason why I asked my questions this evening. I wasn't present when you guys got together. But moving forward, I will make sure that I review this warrant list, and any questions, I definitely will make sure they are asked before the board meeting.
Okay, and then for you, Trustee, I appreciate if you and I do get together. I reached out to you several times trying to build a bridge with you and I so that we can get on one accord, so we don't have any public display as it relates to agenda items.
Mayor, there's no public display. You asked on a Sunday. I attended service on a Sunday. So that's the reason. I sent you an email back and stated to you I was at church service on Sunday.
Right,
so that's the reason why I wasn't present.
Right, I know.
Even though it did come in late, but this was the first Sunday that I could attend service.
Right,
but moving forward, we definitely will make sure that this doesn't happen again during the board meeting.
Okay, so now that you're done, I'm not speaking of the meeting per se. I'm saying that we pick up the phone for everything else. So if any of you guys ever have a comment, concern, or issue, I'm up. I stay up till 1 a.m. You could call my phone and ask me about anything as it relates to village business, is what I'm saying to any of you guys. We don't necessarily meet in person. We could do it over the phone if you guys like. So I'm just saying that publicly once again. So I hope that all of our relationships get better moving forward. So now moving on, there is a motion on the floor. So I want to make sure I heard it correct. You guys want to remove $3,000 for Mario's Barbecue out of the warrant list, is that correct? Or is there?
Correct.
That's correct.
To pay the bills, or what we doing?
I made the motion with the items that I requested removal. I don't know if Trustee Brown had additional, but I made that motion, so.
Okay, so I need clarity. Clerk Key, I refer to you. What was the motion to remove which items?
Mario's Backyard Barbecue,
Okay,
Warren Muhammad, and A King Cleaning, which I don't believe is part of the inauguration.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I didn't put A King cleaning, so.
Oh, okay, you did.
That
I
wasn't
did,
me.
I did, and it states it's in part of the inauguration, so that's why I brought it up. It says it's part of the inauguration when you look under description. So I brought that up.
Okay, that probably was an error on the warrant list, but.
Yeah, let's ask Chris, because we don't have that.
Mayor, can I be recognized?
Sure.
So, because I'm confused. Trustee Belcher, can you please repeat your motion? Because I think I'm not certain which items are.
Okay, so I made a motion to approve the corporate bills with the exception of, hold on, let me pull it up again just to make sure. Mario's Backyard Eats, Warren Muhammad, and then Marvelous Media Group, removing 156, 167, and 169.
Question, Trustee Belcher, how did you come up with those to remove those items? Are they all the same thing or?
Oh, okay, so just
Okay.
for clarity, when I called to ask about this, the Foot Patrol video, which Trustee Steve gave me, stated that one of the items is a duplicate. That's what was stated to me.
Okay.
Then there's $1,000 for a Foot Patrol video, and then $250. I asked about this retirement celebration.
Okay.
It was stated that it was Alan Sheard's retirement. And so I questioned that because Alan Sheard is from the Park District. So I was asking, why are we paying $1,000? And then the Memorial Day footage. So that's why I am asking. That's why I'm asking for removal of it.
And
Thank you.
I want to add to that. I talked to Marvelous or Marvell, and I told him the duplicate video. He said that invoice was wrong, and I told him I don't mind paying for the remainder of the videos that he did because that's content for Channel 4. I just haven't got the finished videos. So when I get the finished videos, I'm sure we'll be. I'm gonna tell him to put it on the next warrant list.
No,
but I haven't got the finished.
I have the footage videos for him.
Yeah, I just need the finished video so we can put that on the channel because it's content for the channel.
Right, but I have it, so I'm not understanding why we're not paying him, and we only once a month.
I don't have nothing. All I have is the Foot Patrol footage, the video. I got that video and I put that on the channel. We put that on the channel. I don't have the two other videos. I talked to him and I said, I need them other videos. I don't have them.
Okay, but what I'm saying to you is I have the footage, the completed videos for the work that we completed.
The edited video that I can put on the municipal channel?
I do, yes. So I don't understand why we're not paying people for their work.
Because I know I did.
You do this for a living, so I'm a little.
This is the first time I heard that I had. I talked to you today. I don't have it. You just told me I had it. You have it. I don't have it now. You just told me I had it.
Yeah, I have it.
I just need the video so I can put it up. That's the whole reason why I said we can pay for this amount. I don't have the other two. Once I get the other two, then I'm with paying for it.
Okay, but I have the other two, so I think we should pay the man his money. I don't think we should go back and forth with not paying the man his money. If I'm telling you, I have the footage. I don't understand why y'all taking it out of the warrant list.
So, Mayor, can I ask a question? So you're telling me every time that something is any type of event that's happening, this guy comes out and charges $1,000? Why would we be paying $1,000 for video footage? I'm asking.
Each video footage is different, so it depends on what it is. The best person to always break it down would be Trustee Steve. That's what
I can explain
for any video person.
I can explain.
Hold on, Trustee Steve, 1 second. And it can get higher than that. So I'm not understanding how we bickering over footage when before we had footage throughout the village. We paid the camera person, but now because you don't pay the camera person, come on. And I'm an active person, just so y'all know, I'm very active. I do something almost every other week.
Can I give my input on that? I don't mind. I know $1,000 for a video, that's 500 to come shoot it, there's 500 to edit. That's a low price. I'm not tripping on that. I know how that goes. My thing is that I talk to you, I talk to Ed, and I talk to, as we call True or Marvell. And I said, I need the finished footage. Now you're telling me we got the finished footage. Okay, if we got the finished footage, I can put that on the channel tomorrow because we need content. But I don't mind paying it. But having a video production person is critical. That's what I did as the media director. That's essential. Everything that and our channel needs content, which is important, because if not, you're just gonna bore me over and over and over and over again, and that gets tired. So anything that's going on in the community, you need video content to put it out there so people know what's going on. And that may be 1,000. It depends on the video. It may be 1,500. It may be $300. But every video is different because you have to record it and then you have to edit it. So if you're saying, Mayor Henry, you're saying you have the video, I don't mind playing him. I don't mind making that payment for him that you're saying that you got the video. I don't mind doing it.
Okay.
Because I know what it takes and I know what goes into that work.
All right. Anybody else? Okay, so let's go on with this motion. So Trustee Belcher, original motion, Clerk Key, can you repeat it? Or are you amending your motion, Trustee Belcher?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so your original motion, Clerk Key, can you read it into record?
The original motion was to pay the corporate bills with the exception of Mario Backyard Barbecue, Warren Muhammad, and Marvelous Media Group.
Okay, so if
It's not all of Marvis Media, it's only
156, 167, and 169.
Correct.
Okay.
So she wants to pay 163? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, 163 and 165.
163 and 165.
Yes, that could be paid.
Okay, but if Trustee Steve's saying he wants to pay the remainder, you saying you don't want to amend it to pay his entire bill?
No, I do not want to amend it because I think that is a lot of money, and I'm not a village photographer, and I spoke to Trustee Steve about it. He did state too that it was we need to start looking at maybe talking to him about having hourly fee versus every time you go out is $1,000. So no, I don't plan on amending it at all now.
We talked about, me and Mayor talked about, and me and Marvell talked about maybe coming up with a set rate, a flat rate or something like that. But we can work that out.
Okay, there's a motion and second, call the roll.
The motion was by Belcher and second by Steve. I just want clarity.
And then read into record again what the motion is and then call the roll. Thank you.
Trustee Holmes?
You on mute. You on mute, Trustee Holmes.
Trustee Norwood?
Aye.
Trustee Steve?
No.
Trustee Belcher?
Aye.
Trustee House?
No.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
I'd like to hear from Trustee Holmes. I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your vote?
My vote is no.
Your vote is no? Okay, the motion did not pass.
Okay.
It's a tie.
So it's a tie, so I break the tie. I'm gonna vote no. And can I have a motion to pay all of the corporate bills as stated?
I motion.
Is there a second? Is there a second to pay the corporate bills?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to pay the corporate bills by Trustee Holmes and second by Trustee House. Please call the roll.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Norwood?
Aye.
Trustee Steve?
Aye.
Trustee Belcher?
No.
Trustee House,
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
No.
Motion passes 4-2.
All right. Moving on to the actual board meeting. So we're going to start at discussion, which is number 3 on the agenda. Discussion and possible action regarding payment of public works equipment, water operator, purchase of 3 pickup trucks. And that's myself, Mayor Hinyard, and I'm going to call Stacy Carrell on. He is the superintendent of Public Works. But first, I just want to announce to you guys that Public Works has been suffering for years. We really need to bring that department up to par. They are lacking, whether it's manpower, tools to do their jobs, such as lawnmowers. That's why a lot of residents, when they complain about high grass, we did not have a lawnmower. I would say thank you to Stan Brown over at ZAP. He have partners with us, and he got the majority of the vacant lots for us, as you guys called in. Currently, we did purchase 2 riding lawnmowers, which has been helping us out, but I will let Stacy speak on his department. I just want to give you an overview of kind of what's going on in Public Works. Last but not least, a lot of you guys know that our water operator has stepped down, and we had to approve another water operator, which you guys have approved in the consent agenda via email. So that's on here for a actual verbal approval. Public Works pickup trucks. Again, they are needed of equipment. I'm gonna let Stacy speak on that. Stacy Corral, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, board. Mayor, how are you?
Hi.
I will start with the pickup trucks. I am requesting 3 additional pickup trucks to be added to our fleet. We currently have 2. We currently have 3. One of them needs to come out of the fleet, out of commissions indefinitely. It has experienced quite a bit of mechanical failures and have been involved with quite a bit of accidents to where it just should not be on the street no longer. Sorry, representing the village of Dolton. The pickup trucks are very important. People usually overlook them. We have a number of dump trucks that we drive on a day-to-day basis that don't have to be on the street. I would rather beat up a pickup truck than a $85,000 to $150,000 dump truck. Most municipalities own at least 6 pickup trucks. Is there any questions about the pickup trucks?
Do you have a price for these pickup trucks?
I'm currently waiting on a package from the dealers. Due to COVID, they're bagged up. You can't just call and get quotes anymore. But they did give me a scope. They're anywhere from $45,000 to $65,000 a piece.
Any other questions as it relates to the pickup trucks?
Okay. Are we seeking any type of funding from somewhere else, or are we able to fund these vehicles within our budget?
Yes. Chris?
Yes, we will be funding these through the COVID monies. So we should have enough to cover the 3 vehicles, assuming they're at 45 each one.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay. Also, I am requesting from the board to look into the purchase of a front end wheel loader. We currently have 2 in the department. One of them is down indefinitely, costing at least $15,000 to $20,000 to repair. It is very old. That loader the one that is down does have great trade-in value. So I am requesting the board look into that also. The loader, if anyone does not know, is the largest piece of equipment that the village owns. It's used to clean alleys, load our trucks during the winter with salt, clear debris, and do our street pickup. A municipality of this size usually has 2 to 3, and right now we're down to 1, which is a crippling effect. We cannot keep up with the upkeep of the village with just 1 loader, and eventually, unfortunately, that loader will also go down from the abuse it endures every day because it doesn't get a break. Is there any questions about the wheel loader?
Price as well.
They go from anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000, but we do have trade-in value on one of our loaders.
And Chris, this will come out of COVID as well, correct?
Yes, we can take it out of COVID money, or we could take it out of the capital money. It would be at the board's discretion.
So the capital, we still had $300,000, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
All right, next would be 3 dump trucks. I am requesting the board purchase 3 dump trucks, 1 large dump truck and 2 smaller dump trucks. These specific dump trucks are needed as follows. The larger dump truck is for our main roads, our main drags or main corridors, however you want to word it, in the wintertime, which collect more snow, and it takes a bigger truck to plow those mains due to the size and maybe the snow accumulation. We currently have 1. Most municipalities or public works departments have 2 of each of these vital vehicles or pieces of equipment. Just in case one goes down, we can bag ourselves up with another one. I'm also requesting 2 smaller dumps, which are ideal for pothole patching. The dumps that we currently have are not ideal for pothole patching, and that makes it kind of difficult to service the community with those trucks. At one point, the department did have 1 that was compatible for pothole patching, but it is no longer in the fleet. It has been put out of commission. Is there any questions about the dump trucks? I'm sorry, they also, the price range for the dumps are $65,000 for the smaller dumps and $75,000 for 1 larger dump. Somewhere in the ballpark of $75,000.
So you're requesting 2 smaller dumps and 1 large?
Correct.
Thank you.
No problem.
I can chime in on this one. I think there's some equipment that we discussed that we previously approved for the mowers, because I know we need to get with the grass, everything's out was very, very difficult. But I think similar, because I understand we have significant need in the public works department. And as we see with the agenda, there's other items in terms of police department needing new vehicles, as well as fire department and all departments having need. So with the items that we've already approved via email consent, I'm suggesting, I would suggest that we move forward with those, because I think those were urgent, and the other items I believe we will want to table until we have a physical budget. I know as Chris mentioned, there are different funds, COVID fund and everything else. I would just say to make sure that we're giving the proper attention to each department, so that way we're not depleting funds from one department when somebody else may need it. We would want to collectively have a budget in place to start making those kind of decisions. But for urgent needs, I think even absent a budget, we want to address those right away.
Anyone else? Okay, so we can break it up into 3 different ways. Do you guys want to do approval for public works equipment, which we already approved, which is the riding lawnmowers? So that, and then we have the water operator. And right now what he's asking for is the pickup trucks. So all the other equipment that he just spoke of, you can put that within the budget.
Oh, so Mayor, if I can, I would motion that we approve the previously email consent approved items, as well as the water, what's the proper title for the water?
Operator.
The water operator. So I would like to couple those 2 collectively for approval. So that will be my motion.
Okay.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Trustee Holmes,
Aye.
Trustee Norwood,
Aye.
Trustee Steve,
Aye.
Trustee Belcher,
Aye.
Trustee House,
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right. So next for the pickup trucks for public works, you guys want to vote on this now, or you want to put it in the budget?
Mayor, if we can, my motion on that will be that we table it until the budget has been approved.
Okay, so I'll just pull that item and put it on the budget, which we will be having in 2 weeks, guys. But I'm gonna put that in my announcements as to when the budget is. So next on the agenda, we have discussion and approval of selling of 2 junk cars and other surplus and dilapidated equipment. Now, this is on here because we have a ton of equipment that does not work within Public Works. And I told Stacy to go out and find people to purchase our bed equipment. So he did that, and I'm gonna let him explain to you guys his findings. Stacy?
Thank you, Mayor. So over the years, Public Works and other departments, vehicles that are no longer good for service or have been involved in car accidents or whatever has happened to them have ended up in the Public Works yard. These dump trucks and other municipal vehicles is a great source of income, I believe, and it definitely can be used towards equipment and if not a down payment on something new. None of them can be salvaged. Most of them are 10 to 20 years old. I was able to receive 2 quotes for 2 vendors that will come and get the vehicles, and the third one did not respond. Is there any questions from the board?
Did they give you an amount?
Yes. I don't have it in front of me. Mayor, do you happen to have it in front of you?
Nope, let me go to it. Equipment.
I believe it might have been somewhere in the $6,000 area.
I think one on here. I'm looking for the other now. One on here.
Is that for the vehicle, Stacy?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so 6,000 per vehicle, and you said we had 2?
No, collectively.
Okay. For
that
the
was
2 vehicles, correct?
They are junk, so they're going off of junk prices. So whatever the price of junk and metal is right now, they came up with a package for all of them.
Okay, and how many was that again?
I believe 8 vehicles. I'm not exactly sure because I don't have it.
I found it. So they're asking 500 per dump truck. It's 7 dump trucks and 300 per car, 9 cars. Grand total of 6,200. Okay, any questions? So basically what we're looking for today is approval to get rid of all of our equipment. Is there a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
It's a motion and second by Holmes and Steves.
Yeah.
Call the roll.
Trustee Holmes,
Aye.
trustee Norwood,
Aye.
trustee Steve,
Aye.
trustee Belcher,
Aye.
trustee House,
Aye.
and trustee Holmes. I'm sorry, Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Brown. Motion passes.
Okay. Moving on to discussion and possible action regarding the purchase of 4 police vehicles. Once again, our police department is in need of police cars, police bikes. We need to try to make them whole along with police officers. I'm gonna turn the floor over to Chief Collins so he can explain his need of police vehicles. Chief Collins?
Okay, I'm making this request because an assessment of the fleet, we have aging vehicles that literally some of them are driven 24 hours a day because there's 3 shifts. We do not have spare vehicles that we can swap out so we can stop driving cars for 3 shifts in a row. And if a car breaks down, we will be left without, especially when we have more officers on the street, which is the goal. To have more boots on the street. But with that, they need vehicles to drive. And some of our vehicles are on their last legs, and we also need to replace those and just add to the fleet. So I'm making this request so that we can have a police department that's mobile without having to spend a lot of money on maintenance to repair old vehicles.
Chief, this is Trustee Brown. One question. I think there was a quote for at least about 33,000 per car, correct?
So with
32 roundabout.
That is the base model of the car that has no emergency lights or equipment in it. That is just the base model from the dealer. So a package to install complete emergency lighting kit and setup would be an additional $10,000.
So we say about 43,000 per vehicle.
That is about average, yes.
Okay. Now, Chris, would this funding come out of COVID as well?
There's a few areas that the village could use to cover that. One is COVID, one would be capital, and then there's also the possibility of using some forfeiture funding for some of those vehicles due to the laws relating to forfeiture funding.
Okay.
If I can, well, Chief, I thank for the explanation on this one. Similarly, I think our Superintendent Carrell outlined a few significant needs in the water department. Similarly, we know that the police department needs it. So there are several funds, as Chris mentioned, that we can pay from. However, I want to make sure that we have a crystal clear plan so that by the time it comes to the board, we know which fund we're paying from, what it's going to do, and what that impact would be. So my suggestion would be that we, similar to the previous request, table that till we have the budget so that we have kind of a clearly laid out plan of what the priorities are and where the funding is coming from.
Okay, my suggestion to that, especially with the police officers, is that we really need the cars, guys. I think that the board should consider that. We just hired, what was it, six new officers. So we got to give them something to drive instead of waiting on the budget. Chris is our finance guy, which we all look forward to when he tell us something that the funds are there. I did check and they are there. So I will hope the board will support him getting his vehicles approved. And just so you guys know, it takes, is it a month, Chief, to get the vehicles once you go out to buy them? How long will it take to get the vehicles?
Yeah, once you purchase the vehicle, we send it to the outfitter, and the outfitter, because a lot of police departments use the same outfitter, you could be waiting on that vehicle for up to a month before you get it back.
Okay.
May I be recognized, Mayor?
Sure. Go ahead, Trustee Holmes.
Well, I would hope that the board considers to move forward, with purchasing these vehicles. I mean, we want to enhance the quality of life and we want this village to grow. So in saying that, along with the new hires, we need these vehicles ASAP. We have older vehicles that is breaking down, constantly going to the maintenance shop. We need to uplift that police department as well as our other departments to have the newest equipment that we can afford, that we can get to service the constituents in the village of Dolton. If the vehicles that we have already are constantly breaking down, then how are we going to service the people here? Let's help ourselves, help this village, and now hopefully the board can approve the cars that we need.
So, Mayor, if I could be recognized.
Sure. Go ahead, Trustee House.
I would say, again, so my suggestion on table, and if I would say that there's an urgency, I would suggest the urgency be around presenting and approving a budget first. So if we can get that done, a lot of this becomes really straightforward and crystal clear. Even in Chris's statement, he mentioned we can pull it from CapEx, forfeiture funds, or COVID funds, which to me indicates there still is not a concise, we don't even know which fund we're approving from. So I would, again, encourage we do a budget, have a clear plan of where the funds are going to come from, and then from there we would move forward. And if the budget is going to be approved within 2 weeks, then by next board meeting we can be talking about it. So I recognize the needs, but Superintendent Carrell outlined significant need in their department, and I was sure if we went to Chief McCain, he would outline significant need there. So the budget lays out what our priorities are, where we're going to go, and how we're going to get the funding. So I would encourage that the first priority be the budget, and let's move on that expeditiously, and then we can start making decisions that do not discount, do not prioritize one department over another.
Okay. So I think that we should approve the vehicles because they need it. We just hired the officers. So I don't think we should wait another 2 weeks to get approval when you guys know we're not having another board meeting because we're actually on summer break for a month. So we don't come back to mid-July. So you guys will have to look at your emails and make sure that you are in tune with what's going on in the village. The entire month. This is like our last official board meeting before mid-July. So I'm asking for your support, Chief Collins, getting him his car so that his officers can do their job effectively. Yes, everyone has a need. We just helped out Public Works by giving them riding lawnmowers. So we did that for him. And then also we need to do something for the police chief, which is make sure that he is equipped for his new hires. So I will hope the board don't sit on this or make them wait, because it do take time to outfit the vehicle, which you just heard him state. We do have the funds, as you heard from Chris, in several different accounts. We can pick and choose which fund you want to take it from, but they do have their own fund that we can buy the vehicles out of. But I would like to start with an agreement with whatever company he chose to buy the cars from, so that we can start getting them shipped here to the village. Anybody else with any other comments? Okay. There was a motion and a second, Clerk Key?
No, we didn't do a motion and second on this.
Okay, is there a motion and a second to approve the purchase of 4 police vehicles?
I motion.
Is there a second? Okay, hearing none, motion dies. Moving on. So next on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding repairs of roof for the Village Hall, Water Department, Fire Department, stations 1 and 2. So I'm looking for a motion to approve fixing the roofs at the following. Is there a motion to fix the roofs?
Mary, do we have a cost for this?
I got to put a motion on the floor first, then we can discuss.
For discussion, for discussion purposes, I motion that we discuss the approval of roofs.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Any discussion?
Mayor, if I could be recognized.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I would say again, similar on this, and it kind of ties into my previous point. There were 4 bids presented in our package. The most cost-efficient bid was $288,000 from my reading of it. That gets to be approved. My understanding, and speaking with Chris, is that there is funds available for this project. However, again, we do not have the budget, has not been presented to the board. It's not been approved. And just from a matter of clarity, I would again urge that the urgency be that the budget be approved, so that way everybody, the residents, the board, and everybody can be comfortable in moving forward on this item. That's my comment. Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else? Okay, so as you know, we've been discussing leakage within Village Hall, Fire Department, and also the Police Department for several months that I've been on this board, even when I was a trustee. So here we are once again, able to do something about it and make the employees feel safe and feel comfortable with coming to work. I don't know if you guys did a tour of any of our facilities within the village. The Police Department, I feel bad for them. Their whole entire locker area is leaking. The basement where you guys' offices are going to be is leaking as well. So the firehouse, if any of you have been following the previous board meetings, spoke of mold, leakage, roof repairs, patch jobs throughout my, I want to say 2 years, year or so, being a trustee. So I think that we should take action and do something about it. If you guys want to hold off again, that's up to you guys. You are the board of trustees, but I want you guys to know the urgency as it relates to doing repairs and fixing things when employees speak on it, and showing them that we do care and we're not going to keep putting them off to another board meeting until we do this, until we do that, because we can always, again, speak to one another, get on one accord as it relates to how we move, what funds it come out of, and we would have more structure as of today. So I am asking for a motion to approve fixing Village Hall, Fire Department, and Police Station. Anybody have any other discussion?
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Sure, go ahead, Trustee.
In regards to the roof, I think that my concern is what I'm hearing and being a new trustee. It seems as if everything revolves around budget is what I'm learning. So I don't think that any of for myself, I think my main concern is making sure that it's in the budget. Because we don't have a budget, that is making it a little bit harder for us to approve some things because it's like agreeing to something that we don't know is there at this moment. So in regards to the city, in regards to the police officers, in regards to the roofs, I do understand that we have immediate concern, but I think what Trustee House was saying is that the sooner we get a budget, the sooner we can address and we'll know what we can prioritize and what we have. So that's my thing. I want to make sure that it's in the budget before approving things so I know that we can afford it. I mean, I don't want to say that we can't afford something, but I haven't seen a budget, so I don't know what we can afford without me seeing a budget because I'm not sure. So in regards to the roof, I would just like to wait until we have the budget so that I can see that it's in the budget and then I can be sure we're making that decision moving forward.
Okay, so to answer your question, as a trustee, you can go to any department head, speak to them. You can go to Chris, who's our finance guy, and talk to him as relates to any budget item. When I became mayor, I sat down with Chris, went over the budget every week. We still going over the budget currently. So that's how I know that all the funds are available, how I know which accounts the money can come out of. He's on the line and you guys can ask him the same questions that I asked him because I would never spend something that I don't have. I don't even do that with my personal life. So what I'm saying to you is that we do have the money. I don't want us to keep pausing or saying we're going to wait on the budget, wait on this. And then as I spoke to Trustee House, I told him he had a finance meeting and I know he know more than anybody the dollars that we do have available here in the village. So that's why I'm kind of like, don't understand why we keep pausing every time something come on the agenda for a vote as relates to building community or fixing our house, which is public works, housing, police. All them departments has been underserved and didn't have anything happen or given to them. So what I'm trying to do now is make everyone whole and show community that we do care as a board and we are doing something about it. But every time something come up, it seems like we stagnant, we pausing, but we got every reason of why not instead of why we should. So I will hope the board will entertain this. If y'all want to put it into budget, I'm fine with that. Whichever way the board chooses, I'm going to be okay. But I just want the residents to know that it is up for a vote. And if the board chooses to wait to the budget, then so be it. Chris is on here. Chris?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, can you just give a statement to what you and I have been talking about and going over the budget and making sure that we have all the monies that I've been asking for today to pay for the items on the agendas. I was just trying to reassure them that we have money for public works, the police department, and I think so can you just give them an overview?
Yes, we have been going over the budget, and we are working on getting a clear, concise budget that is available for all the trustees to review, balanced budget to fund all of these various tasks of the various departments, the needs of the various departments.
Yeah, can I be recognized?
All right, Chris, you done?
Yep, unless anyone has a question for me.
Okay, go ahead, Trustee Belcher.
I agree with Trustee Norwood because this is something that we're new to, so there is a lot of questions. But last finance committee meeting, Chris was on that meeting, and when he gave his explanation of different things that was going on, although it was a surplus, he still said, well, it's a lot of different things that needed to be paid. So we would, we didn't see a lot. So has a miraculous amount of money came in that has made all this stuff happen? Because if we go back to last month, he was kind of saying we need to watch what we do. We still have we have the police, the fire, the police clerks, all of those who are bargaining agreement haven't been out, and we still have to back pay. And he went through this list of things that would make it seem as if we were, although it was a surplus, it wasn't a lot. So for us to come here now and it's like, oh, we got money for this, oh, we got money for that, oh, we got money for this, has lump sum of money come in.
Okay.
Chris?
Yes. So I'm sorry if I confused everyone. One of the things that I spoke about last month is we are starting the negotiation process for the various unions. Once those negotiations happen, based on what happened in the past experience, usually there are raises to the various unions, which means that your guys' payroll will be increasing. So those are one of the things we do need to be realistic as to our spending. Now, in the budget, we are taking into account what that exact issue that we are going to be negotiating with the unions, and there are probably going to be raises coming. So those are being included in the conversation for the budget. So those are included in the overall, when we are funding the budget and planning the budget, we are including those concepts in the budget.
Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted clarity because from the last finance meeting, those were concerns that were brought up because an example you even referred to was that the sergeants had just got some type of raise or something, and 10 people cost $200,000. So those are things that we have to look at. We just had something where somebody is retiring and we're paying out a substantial amount of money. So those are things I think that we're looking at. We don't know because I'm gonna say myself, don't know because I've never been in planning a municipal budget before, although I've been to the meetings. That's where I think a lot of myself and Trustee Norwood's concern is in reference to these items. Thank you so much though for answering the question.
Okay.
Mayor, if I may be recognized again, please.
Okay, one sec. Let me get Scott out real quick, and then I got you. Scott, okay. Are you on?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees, residents. Going over everything with these roofs with the buildings, we have a time limit on these proposals, and then they're not going to be no good no more. Then I'm gonna have to go through all this again and get everything redone because the prices of materials are changing daily. The other thing is you know, the longer we let these roofs go the way they're going, right now we don't have to replace the decking. When we have to replace the decking, these prices are going to go up probably $500,000. And this has been going on for 6.5 years that I've been here. That I've been putting Band-Aids on these roofs, and we need to address this like ASAP. I mean, the companies are not going to hold the bids they put out. We're already past the 15 days on some of them now. And they've been calling me on a daily basis because the material prices are skyrocketing. And, you know, there's materials right now that they're limited. They're not even selling companies a lot of the stuff that we need to do this job. So my professional opinion, I would ask the board to please put this in as an as a priority to get this passed. Because we have buildings that are it's going to cost us a lot more later on if we keep passing this back 2 weeks and then another 2 weeks. Because we pass it back another 2 weeks, it's going to be 4 weeks. And then these proposals, I'm going to have to get more people out. A lot of people ain't going to come back out. Because there's companies out there wanting money to even come out and give us a bid on these. And these are the only 4 that I could get without giving us a bid. I mean, charging us to come out and give us a bid on the projects.
And Scott, can you talk about Station 2, which is our firehouse, is currently closed due to the fact of the roof issue? Can you explain to the board?
Station 2 has been a tear off for the last 6 years that I've been here. It's already had 3 roofs put on it. It's bubbling. It's leaking through every crevice it can possibly do. It's starting to cause structural damage to the walls and stuff now because the water's going in places it shouldn't be during the wintertime. And it's expanding and busting the joints on the brick mortar. So now we got walls separating and everything else. So Station 2 in the police station, all the 3 stations, in my opinion, really need to be addressed tonight.
Okay. Any board, thank you, Scott. Any board member, anybody got any more comments, questions?
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, go ahead, Trustee.
Yeah, my official, because I know we wanted to make sure we're discussing it. I'm gonna take full under appreciation of what Scott mentioned as the expert in that realm, similar as we've taken Superintendent Carell's expertise. So we're not challenging the amount. So I would again have the urgency be that we get a budget in place quickly so that we can address these things. I don't think anybody is in disagreement of the need, but everybody wants to make sure that we have the funding available so we don't run into a position where we're having this conversation about payroll. So my official motion is that we table this item until we have a budget.
Second.
Okay.
I think we should take into consideration and urgency that we really need to get these roofs on here, because we're gonna be worse off if these roofs collapse on some of these employees, and we're gonna be looking at a liability risk. So that's something to think about. And I think we should move forward. If Chris saying we have it in the budget and we can do this, I think we can save ourselves some liability, because I would hate to see this going across nationally that, hey, 6 or 7 police officers up there and the roof done collapse, or over at Public Works or somebody and our employees, not less than we have a citizen come in and these roofs collapse. These roofs have been decaying for years. They just been spot putting them together, and we need to get them up for safety.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree, Trustee.
I have a question.
Sure, Trustee Norwood.
For Chris. Since we have all of is Chris still on?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Chris, since I'm wondering, because I'm hearing we need new police cars, we want new trucks. As one of the other trustees stated, we have a few retirements, payouts. Since we have this great urgency, and it's important to us that we address everything, because we want everyone to be safe also. Is there a way that we can get the budget sooner? Is there a way that we can have the budget as soon as possible so that we can go ahead and have a special meeting to get these things moving forward? Or do we have to, will it take you 2 weeks to get it to us?
So I'm working on it tomorrow to make any final changes that are needed in regards to the budget for any other requests, to make sure I got everything so that I can give you guys a comprehensive coverage of all the various needs. So that's my plan for tomorrow. I'm hoping to have a final board reviewable by Friday. And then the board can review, and then assuming that if they're all good with it, we can move to the process of passage.
Okay, thank you.
May I be recognized, Mayor?
Sure.
Wait
1 second, but just so you know clarity of how it go with a budget, you still got to post in this 10 days out before we can actually have a budget meeting to pass the budget. So it's still a process. So that's why I keep stressing it. And normally we always have a budget meeting at the end of June. Go ahead, Trustee Steve.
I think I agree with the finance chair. Let's put some urgency on this budget, and we can pass all this stuff. But let's put the urgency on this budget. I mean, I know there's been years that things didn't happen because there wasn't no budget. So so let's put the urgency on the budget and get the budget passed, and we can have all this. We can, even though there's a summer break, we can always call a special board meeting and get things passed, and call a meeting to pass the budget once it comes. We don't have to wait to a board meeting to pass it. We can call a special one and pass it once the 10 days when you announce it. I agree with Trustee House. Let's get this budget, because these are big ticket items that we're spending. I know the need is there. It's been there for the past year, 2, 3 years. I mean, so all I'm saying is that let's get this in budget. Let's get this budget in place and do it the right way.
Okay, so we are doing it the right way. So let's be clear of that. And you just stated it's been a need for 2 to 3 years, and we did nothing about it. So here I am trying to do something about it. And you know, being a trustee, that the budget don't go out until the end of June, like we have done several different years. So here we are. Come the end of June, we will have an actual special board meeting like we always do. I only been in office 3 weeks, so I went over the budget several times with Chris to make sure we had all the money that all of the department heads is asking for. I wouldn't dare put something on the agenda not knowing we have money or where we're going to get it from. So I just wanted the board to know the urgency of that, because I do have a problem with Station 2 being closed down, because if it's a fire, that's why they're over there. So if it's a fire on that side of town, it's gonna take them more time to get to the fire because they house at Station 1, which is over here off of Park. So I would like to make everybody complete, and safety is my top priority, which I ran on, and I'm still stand on that. So all I'm putting up right now, this is basically a safety agenda. So it was the police, it was the fire department, and public works, all issues that people care about in the community. And I was trying to show them unity amongst our board to show that we care and we're doing something. So if the board see fit, y'all want to wait till the budget, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to move on so we can get this next agenda item. So give me 1 second so we can move on with our evening.
Is that it for me, Mayor?
Yep, that's it, Scott. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
One more thing though. I really think we should try to do something to get this in the process of getting something working forward with it tonight. And picking one of these companies so I can let them know, so they can actually start doing it. So the money, these proposals don't go out the door, and it ends up costing us more money because the prices aren't. We need to get something locked in, because the prices are changing daily. I mean, I'm not talking hundreds of dollars. I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars.
Mayor, if I could be recognized on that point.
Sure, go ahead.
I think there was the one, I'm assuming that Scott, if I can ask, the 4 companies you gave are all companies that you recommend and they're acceptable from your expertise?
Yes, sir.
So if a company is able, the one that had the most cost efficient bid, which was about $288,000, if you can communicate with them that we have interest, we're waiting on the budget until for the budget, which should be approved in a month. If they would be willing to lock in, I think that would make sense.
Okay. Yeah, I can contact them tomorrow, but like I said, I just want to try to get something locked in even before the budget passes, because we don't, it's going to cost this village a lot more money.
Okay, and thank you for that, Scott. I know the mayor's been working with you. I'll also be willing to work with you if on trying to get that price locked in.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so let me make sure I understood and heard correctly. So you guys are stating that you want Scott to go after the lowest bid? Is that right, Trustee House?
And so my suggestion, because if I heard Scott's comment correctly, we want to try to lock in and let them know that we do have interest. Our pause on moving forward is having a budget in place.
Now,
so
the one that you're recommending, the Great Lakes Roofing. Now, I understand that the 288 is one of the bids, but always lower is not always better. I mean, I've read through every one of these proposals, and the one that it's given us the best money and the best materials being used with the longest warranties on their workmanship, and then lifetime on the materials would be Rogers Roofing. It's a little bit more money, but we're getting a lot better job, better materials for what we're paying for.
And on that, I would defer to your expertise. So in terms of we're interested, I'm interested in locking in a price, and assuming all things hold true, we can have a budget by June and we can be voting on it early July. So if your expertise says Rogers Roof, if I heard that correctly.
Yes, because I even talked to them, and he said he'd be willing to work a 3 to 4% discount across the total job too. So that's for 9 to 12.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Trustee.
Okay. So I just advised by the attorney that we have to put a motion on the floor to give him direction if it's your choice to go after that company to lock in a price. So you have to put a motion on the floor as it relates to that.
Mayor, if I could again be recognized.
Go ahead.
Can the attorney kind of advise what that motion would sound like based on the discussion?
Attorney.
Yes, so there's actually 2 issues and points of order. I did hear a motion to table. I don't believe there was a second to that motion, but if there is a motion on the floor to table, then that should be seconded and voted upon if that's the intent. If otherwise, if the mayor is pulling the item from the agenda, then that works too. But since there was a request to table these items, then that should be followed through on, or the motion can be withdrawn. The other part of it is if you're looking for action on a specific item, you can just request or submit a motion to approve the contract or the proposal as presented by staff and as reflected in the record. But you should definitely set the parameters on exactly what you're doing and who you're considering for that project.
So I second the motion to table.
Okay, so then there should be a roll call vote on that motion, because that motion is a superseding motion. So if you're going to table these items, then that takes care of all issues related to those action items. Correct. If the motion to table was the first motion put on the floor. So it is a superseding motion. So you can withdraw the motion to table and address that one item that you want to vote on, and then table the rest.
So I'll withdraw the motion to table. My motion is that we pursue locking in a price with Rogers Roofing. Is that the one that you mentioned, Scott?
Yes, it is, trustee.
My motion is that we pursue locking in a price with Rogers Roofing, pending approval from our fiscal year 2021 budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and second. Call the roll.
I have only one thing, it's fiscal 22 budget.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, for clarity, fiscal year 2022 budget. Thank you, Chris.
Okay, motion by House and second by,
Steves. Trustee
I'm
Steves.
sorry, I didn't hear who second.
Trustee Steves.
Okay, got it. Okay, trustee Holmes,
Aye.
trustee Norwood,
Aye.
trustee Steve,
Aye.
trustee Belcher,
Aye.
trustee House,
Aye.
and trustee Brown.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed to withdraw the motion to table item for Rogers Roofing and to move forward with that one.
So with that direction in mind, then I can work with Scott to prepare a letter of intent pending final approval by the board for that project and that contract, so that we can get that vendor committed to that price.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding the forensic audit of the village financials. Of course, the water department. For, I would say, the last 4 years, I've been speaking of forensic audit, and I still think we need a forensic audit. Over in the water department, we have found several mishaps as it relates to money. We found cash in bins as we go through paperwork or envelopes. We've also found inaccuracy as it relates to vehicle stickers. I'll give you an example. If you come in and you purchase ticket 83, sticker 83, and then say someone else comes in and then they're gonna give them ticket 83, but yet that person paid cash, they pockets the money. This is my assumption of what's going on, but I'm just telling you it's happening. I'm just giving examples so you guys can follow me. And then, but in the system, they got you down as 83 for one, and then the other person is in the system for 83 as well. But on your vehicle, it's showing you really have ticket number 1. So we have a lot of different issues going over there in the water department that needs addressed. And I'm just putting it out there so you guys know what's going on, and that we do look into having a forensic auditor come in. I did reach out to several different companies. You will be getting something via consent agenda because they didn't give me anything for this agenda for a vote. I know currently Cayman City has someone that I think we probably should use. And there's 2 other companies that we went after. And they pay a monthly fee, meaning their city, to the forensic audit person. And they have been in their water department going over different stuff. So it's not really expensive as we thought it would be. It's affordable and attainable. So I am asking the board to support that when that do come up. This right here is just an overview of what's going on over in the water department. So you guys know when you see forensic audit, which I hope and pray the entire board is still in favor of. Any discussion or questions before I move on to the next agenda item?
Okay, I have a question. If there was cash found, that cash had to be from some time ago. We have not taken cash in 2 years unless we have workers that are still taking cash and not supposed to be taking cash.
Correct.
So we have a problem. If they're still taking cash and we voted 2 years ago not to take cash, we definitely have a problem in the water department.
So that's why I'm asking for the forensic audit, because we have a lot of problems over there and we need a forensic audit before we constantly go over there trying to fix the department. So people can tell us all the issues that we do have and where the theft is occurring and how they're doing the theft. So I'm still asking, I've been asking as a trustee, I'm asking as mayor to still approve the forensic audit for the village, especially the water department, which is our payment center. All our dollars go there from tickets from the police department, code enforcement, all the money go through the payment center. So I'm just giving you a 411 on what I'm looking for. That should be coming shortly once we get the proposals, and I will send it to the board, and then we can vote via email and pick a company to start. Next on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding repairs to the former Mayor Riley Rogers vehicle. When I took office, I'll say the first 2 days, we asked the mayor for keys to Village Hall and also vehicles that he had. He had a minivan and also a car. Of course, a little birdie told us about the minivan. He kept that for about a week, and then we got that back. But when they did turn in the actual SUV truck, it came back damaged. And I don't really understand how. It was damaged on both ends, both rear ends. And Chief Collins did send it out to get a quote to fix it. I know I mentioned this to you guys before, so I'm mentioning it again because we do need to fix the vehicle so we can utilize it or give it to an employee to drive throughout our town. I am requesting that we go out to the mayor and he pays for the damages and just sue him for it. Right now, the price tag is it $3,200, Chief? $3,257 is the price tag to fix the vehicle currently. The board has to approve that in order for it to go to the body shop. And then I need to know, do you guys want to take legal action to go after Mayor Riley Rogers for the damage to the vehicle, and also approve the amount, and then he will have to reimburse us, meaning the village, after we get the vehicle fixed. So right now it is up for discussion, or wait, let me do the motion first. I'm sorry. Is there a motion to fix the vehicle?
I motion.
Is there a second?
Well, Mayor, if I could be clear, and maybe the attorney can advise. I'm in favor of repairing the vehicle. I'm not in favor of the lawsuit.
That's not what's on the floor. So
Okay, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
that's why I was asking clear.
Yeah, that's just me telling you what I think we should do. Right now, it's just a motion to fix the vehicle. Actually send it to the repair shop and have the taxpayers pay the $32,757 for the vehicle to fix it. So that's what the motion is currently by Trustee Holmes, and then second by.
I'll second the motion for fixing. Yeah, I'll second that.
Motion and second on the floor to fix the vehicle. Any discussion?
I have a discussion. Can I be recognized, Mayor?
Sure, go ahead, Trustee.
Okay, I have a couple of things. So if he turned it in and it was damaged, because I know we originally had something for $6,700. So is this a new proposal?
Yes.
That was okay. So if he did turn it in, assuming that all of the vehicles have insurance, why are we not doing an insurance claim?
Good question. Same thing I asked. The mayor did not do a police report. We have no police report on file. I asked Chief Collins the same exact questions, and he just turned it back damaged. So now it's up to us to figure out what y'all want to do.
But even if he didn't do a police report and it's a village vehicle, yourself, the administrator, somebody still could do a report though to have, I mean, even because that's just like if somebody hit your car, like, and drive off or whatever, can we still do I think it's cheaper for us to pay a deductible versus that. I'm just asking, I don't know, so I'm asking.
Number one, I didn't think that we should raise our premiums of adding his vehicle to our insurance. And two, Chief told me that we could not, was that how you stated, we could not do anything with the vehicle because we didn't have a police report? I'm gonna let him chime in, because he the one got the vehicle, so let me, Chief.
When we received the vehicle, there was damage on both sides of the vehicle, passenger and driver side of the vehicle. And through all of our looking into it, there appears to be 0 police reports, and it is even unknown when or even where any of this damage occurred. So it'd be anybody's best guess on when and where it happened. And as far as reporting it to insurance agency, that is outside of my realm. I'm not saying that we can't do it. I'm just saying we cannot provide any paperwork to support it.
Yeah, I understand that. Thank you so much, Chief. I'm just saying, as if I know if it's insured, and I don't know the technicalities of it, and maybe the attorney may have more insight in reference to it. But us just paying it versus that's what we pay insurance for, because it is a village vehicle. I hope so or believe so. Then that's what I'm just asking as an option. My other question, and Mayor, I know you texted me back earlier. Did you get clarity on the license plates, Mayor?
Okay, yeah, yes, I did. So Chief Collins had ran the VIN numbers, and the vehicle belongs to the village. It is our truck. So the mayor did have 2 separate plates. One was his own and one was village issue plates.
Okay, so where is the license plate that's issued to the village of the DPK 956 that has been around for the last 14 to 15 years?
Yeah, those are on the truck. So he did check, and I'll let him chime in and tell you his findings. Go ahead, Chief.
There was a question presented to me earlier about whether this vehicle that we received was actually our vehicle. I personally checked the VIN number on it and ran it, and it is the property of the village of Dolton. And also when you run the VIN, it tells you what plate belongs to the vehicle, and those plates are actually present on the vehicle.
Which one, the DPK 956?
The VIN number is registered to a plate that begins with X-ray, and those are the plates that are on the vehicle.
So my question is, there is a vehicle or another set of plates that belongs to the village, DPK 956, that the Mayor Raleigh Rogers was driving. Where is either that vehicle or those plates that belong to the village of Dolton?
What kind of vehicle are you saying?
He had a Ford Explorer, just like the other one. The 2 license plates is Public Works had DPK 954 and he had DPK 956. Those license plates have been around for the last 15 to 17 years in the village of Dolton. So either it's another vehicle somewhere or the license plates are somewhere.
Well, as far as I'm aware of, he only had one Ford Explorer, and switched license plates out on, I'm not sure how often, but the other plates you speak of, I have no idea what those are or where they belong to. I just know when we received the vehicle back, it had the proper license plates on it.
Okay, so there's possibility, and I'm not accusing or putting any accusations anywhere, but and you have the ability to do it. There is a license plate DPK 956 that belongs to the village of Dolton. So either someone has those plates or there is another vehicle.
If those truly are the plates, then I can have somebody run those plates and see if they do come back to the village, as long as that's an accurate plate number.
All right, thank you so much.
May I be recognized, Mayor?
Yes, go ahead, Trustee Jones.
You know, I think we're gonna run into a glitch with the insurance because, they're gonna want to know when was this vehicle damaged, and the first thing they're gonna want is a report. Second, I don't think the taxpayers should foot this bill because everyone knows if you have an accident or damage to a vehicle, you have to make a police report. And if that wasn't done, then the person who's responsible for that vehicle should take care of that vehicle and not the taxpayer. So, that's just my opinion on it.
Okay. Thank you, trustee, and I totally agree.
Mayor, if I can be recognized on that.
Yes, trustee House.
Okay, I guess it is kind of just a matter of opinion or perspective. We can file a complaint, whether or not it's approved or not, it's going to ultimately be the discretion of the insurance company. When the car was, so even though we don't know the time of the damage, when the car was given to us, we can do a report saying it was given back to us in this condition and see if the insurance company is it. But we're talking about the difference of a $3,200 repair, and if we do that, increasing our deductibles for a $500 deductible. To me, it's kind of 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. So on either preference, it's completely, I would say, at the trustee's discretion, but ultimately the insurance company would make the decision on approval or deny of the claim.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
Mayor, may I be addressed?
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure we're clear. So are we going to try to, based on what Trustee House was just saying, are we going to try to still use the insurance and then go from there? Or are we just stating right now that the only resolve is us voting on the $3,000+ dollars?
Well, currently right now, the resolve is to vote on the $3,000 so we can get the body shop, the car to the body shop and get it fixed. Right now, we don't have any report, any paperwork to give the insurance to go through all the red tape. I'm saying that we should just go and fix the vehicle. And then if anybody wants to go after the mayor or see fit, then we will do so to reimburse us the $3,200.
Got it. So I guess I just want to make sure I'm clear before I vote. So we're just going to dismiss the insurance thing, and the options that we're presenting now is if we pay the $3,000, the question is to go after him later. But if we pay the $3,000+ dollars, I guess I'm wondering can we still not? We're not going to pursue the insurance. We're just going to. Okay.
Right. We're not pursuing the insurance at all. The vote that's on the floor right now is just for us, the village, to pay the $3,200 to the body shop to fix the vehicle. And then that's it. And then we're done. It's fixed. Now, what I'm saying, or I suggested earlier, is to add to that, and we can either go after the mayor for the $3,200 to reimburse the village. But right now, the village will front the bill. We will pay to fix the vehicle, and the vehicle come back fixed, and we will give the vehicle to an employee.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Any other questions?
Mayor, why can't we just try to go through the insurance? And if we can't go through the insurance, then foot the bill. But let's try first. If we can't, then we'll just have to pay for it. But that's what we have insurance for incidents. That's what we pay for.
Yeah, but
if we can't go through it, then hey, we can't.
Okay.
But let's at least try.
Okay, so normally when we go through insurance, you got to have your ducks in a row, your paperwork. We don't have that. We don't have a report whatsoever. So how can we go and say, fix this vehicle? We don't know who damaged it, who messed it up, which we do, but you don't have nothing in writing to justify why they're paying out of their pockets to fix our issue.
We still can't do a police report. It's just like a hit and run. If your car is parked outside, just for instance, if my car is parked and somebody hit it, I don't know when it happened. I can just make a guesstimate and just say it there. I'm just saying if it works, let's try it. If not, then we'll just have the village has to foot the bill.
Yeah, no, I am not saying that I don't know what Raleigh Rogers did with the vehicle or why it's messed up or why we're fixing it. Because
I'm not saying that he didn't do it. Do we know when it happened? That's all I'm saying.
Anything. That's what I'm saying. We know nothing. The vehicle's dropped off damaged. So now we either A, got to eat that, or B, go out to the mayor and get the money for the vehicle. So right now, the way I'm seeing it, we have to pay the money to fix it. So we're going to pay the money to fix it. Then after that, if you guys see fit, because I don't know how everybody's feeling, some want to go out them, some don't. So we either go and sue the mayor to pay us our $3,200 back. But right now, we need the vehicle fixed so we can utilize the vehicle for the employees.
Okay, I just agree to have the vehicle repaired.
All right. Moving on. Okay, call the roll. Clerk Key. And this a motion, and repeat the motion so everybody on the same page.
So the motion is to approve the repairs of the vehicle in the amount of $3,257.
Yes.
And the motion was approved by Holmes, second by House.
Yes.
So now the roll. Trustee Holmes,
Aye.
Trustee Norwood,
Aye.
Trustee Steve,
Aye.
Trustee Belcher,
Aye.
Trustee House,
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay. Now, on another note, do anybody want to motion to go into some small claims court for the $3,200 for the mayor? Is there a motion to do so, or you guys want us just to pay the bill and that's it? Okay. So moving on to block safety. Finally, Chief Collins, you have the floor.
Okay. In the middle of this presentation, I may have to switch devices because I'm now at 2% on my iPad. So bear with me. Flock safety, what we are looking at is a tool to help law enforcement investigators to solve crimes. When we have shootings, homicides, anything that involve getting away in a vehicle, Flock Safety is a company that provides cameras that we can place anywhere that we would like in within our jurisdiction to view cars leaving town, entering town, and we can review data going back in history and put alerts so that we can be alerted when certain cars go past the camera, if they have warrants or if it's a stolen vehicle. It's a multi-purpose tool that we are looking at. And currently, just to give you a little bit of our neighbors are using these cameras. Harvey, when I was over there, we installed cameras there. Our other neighbor, Riverdale, is about to start installing these cameras, and I would like to give a presentation so that you all can see what a powerful investigative tool this can be. And I have a representative on the line, Dan Murdoch. He's a representative of Flock Safety, and he can give you a brief overview of what this product is and the power and capabilities of it. Are we able to let Dan go ahead and present?
Yes. Derek, can you share his screen?
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Great. It still says I'm not able to start my video. There we go.
Share his screen.
Okay. Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Great. And then just want to see if I can share my screen real quick. Can you guys see my screen?
No. Okay, there you go.
Okay, there we are. Okay. Well, first of all, I really appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to sit down and take a look at Flock. Basically, the chief gave a pretty good overview there of what Flock is. So Flock is a company that has actually only been in business about 5 years now. And we have come into the Illinois market over the last 2-3 years and have immediately become the largest LPR vendor in the state. And the reason for that is that we have taken a pretty large step forward in how LPR technology works. Before Flock came around, every LPR system basically used infrared light to hit a metal license plate and then get that number back. So if there was a shooting or something like that, they would have to say, I saw the car was XR43. And then, but that doesn't happen very often. So with Flock, when Flock came around, we basically used motion capture to take a picture of the entire car and then use machine learning to decide what it's looking at. So Flock is able to identify the make of the vehicle, the type of vehicle, and the color of the vehicle. So now, if there is an incident, someone can say, I saw a red car, and then go back to the plates and then look back and then work backwards to the license plate. So that's really the big jump forward in the technology that Flock has been able to provide. Now, that's not necessarily the only place that Flock has moved this technology forward. Another place is that our cameras are infrastructure free. So we don't need any city poles or city lights or city power, anything like that. Our cameras are solar powered and the internet is built into the camera. So we work with the police department to identify the most important places for these cameras. And then we can either hang them on an existing pole or drop our own IDOT and DOT approved poles in the ground. And then 3, we don't have this as like a pretty big upfront capital expenditure. One of your neighbors, Calumet Park or Calumet City, invested pretty heavily in these cameras a couple of years ago, where they basically bought the cameras in bulk. With Flock, we provide this as a service. So you aren't actually buying cameras from Flock. You're buying the data coming out of the cameras. So we sell this for $2,500 per camera per year. So instead of these hundreds of $1,000s infrastructure projects, if you're getting 20 cameras, it's more like $50,000 a year compared to these very large upfront $250,000 style purchases. Now, along with that comes all the maintenance and all those pieces as well. So you guys don't have to worry about servicing any of these cameras. A camera breaks, anything like that. We come in, we'll hang a brand new camera. All of that is on the Flock side. Now, I know I just ripped through a couple things really quickly, but does anyone have any questions or anything I just touched on? Great. So I just want to give you a couple like real world examples of how these cameras work. So last night there was a shooting in Harvey at the O Club. Now, what those detectives would do is, I don't know how familiar you are with that club, but that is right by the highway. So it stands to reason that when that shooting happened, some of those people might have taken off and try to jump on the highway real quick. So the officers, so the detectives can go to the cameras, filter, I believe the shooting was at like 205. They can go to the cameras, pull every vehicle that went through there between 207 and 212. And then if there was any descriptions of any vehicles at the scene, someone said those guys jumped into a black SUV, they can go and filter and pull all the black SUVs and again work backwards to the license plate. Now there was a reprisal shooting later in the night up off of Wood Street. Harvey is actually putting a camera right by where that happened. If that camera would have already been in place, they then could have looked at what cars were at the scene of O at the time, and then also were at the reprisal shooting later in the night. So being able to connect these different pieces together. Now, also a Flock, there's free sharing, not only with your department, but any other of the departments in the area. There are about 25 departments in the Chicagoland area using Flock, and you can share with any of these departments and utilize them just like they're your own. So whether it's University Park or Lincoln Park or Country Club Hills or Joliet or whoever, think of almost like a Facebook friend request. You request to see their cameras and you can access them just like they're your own. Does anyone have any questions about that? Great. Now, another example that we were just kind of talking about right now earlier was that license plate DKR. I can't remember the whole thing, but the one that the trustee brought up earlier, that was, there's a rogue plate out there. Is that plate still in use? If you have a full plate, you can put that plate in and it will check it against any Flock police camera anywhere in the country. So if that vehicle or that plate is still cruising around, it's pinging off on Harvey, it's out in University Park, wherever it's going, you can see that car's still out there. You think it might be on a black SUV, you can then get a picture of the vehicle it's on, and then again, kind of use that type of information for your investigative purposes. Now, not just for, this isn't just for, obviously it's great for investigative purposes, but it can also be used for other types of things the police do as well. In Oak Forest, they actually had a wellness check where there was a teen who went missing and the parents put in a wellness check. They put in the plate they gave them and it pinged off some cameras in suburban Nashville. Oak Forest police contacted those police officers, put a hot tag on it, And when that pinged again, the officer made an officer down in Suburban National made a stop, spoke with the young person, ended up returning him to his family in Oak Forest. So also great for like lost senior citizens, anything along those lines as well. Does anyone have any questions or anything I kind of touched on there? No. I'm just going to kind of breeze through a couple of these slides, but this is what these deployments look like. These are the 3 core deployments. Number 1, most popular, and what I believe all the Harvey cameras are set up as, is on an existing pole where we'll hang the camera, get it all set up, and it's run off of solar power. 2, if you guys have existing city power that for whatever reason you want to use, we absolutely can support that. We'll hang the camera, get it all set up. You'll just have someone from the city who actually has to come and make the connection. And 3rd, we'll drop our own IDOT and DOT approved 12-foot flock poles in the ground. Once we drop the poles in the ground, it becomes city property, and you can put any additional signage on there that you want. If you require IDOT, if you want to go on IDOT roads and require IDOT permits, we will help you contract with a third-party engineering firm that we will pay for. The IDOT permits are free to the state, so there is no additional cost, anything around permitting. Flock will basically own that process for you. Does anyone have any questions around any of those pieces? Awesome, you guys make it easy. As far as price is concerned, it is a flat rate. So it doesn't matter if you are getting 15 cameras or you're getting 80 cameras like Springfield just did. It is $2,500 per camera per year. And the only other cost outside of that is a $250 installation fee. So that includes all the hardware, all the software, all the power, all the maintenance, all the integration into state and local hot lists. All of that is rolled into a once a year cost. Now, I know you guys had a lot of questions about cost and budget and everything like that today. Does anyone have any questions around that specifically?
I do.
Great.
Is there any way you can give us a bundle package if we bought multiple cameras and cut the price?
So because this is a bundle, the way that the price is bundled, that's all wrapped into one. A lot of this, unfortunately, does not go straight to Flock. Like we're paying like the cellular companies, we're paying, there's a lot of outside costs to go in. So I can't do anything on the actual subscription price. But I do have some flexibility on the installation cost. I'll have to get the rubber stamp from my manager, but I'm pretty sure that we can knock off that $250 per camera installation fee. The other offer that we have discussed with your police chief, which is the same offer that we gave to Harvey, was that we'll give you 60 days with these cameras. If after 60 days you don't like the results, you can tear up this contract, no cost to the city. So we'll give you 60 days, whatever you want your deployment to be, 60 days to use the cameras. If during those 6 days you decide this is not a fit for Dolton, we'll come out, we'll pick those cameras up. Dolton will never have paid Flock a cent. But after those 60 days, it'll roll into a contract. What happened with Harvey was they had that for 10 cameras. When their 60 days was ending, they bought 9 more cameras. So they have seen a lot of success. We're solving or helping them solve shootings. There's been a lot of homicides, grand theft auto, all those things have been used to solve these crimes. Another thing that these cameras bring is cooperations between departments. I understand that there's a grand theft auto problem in the south suburbs, and sometimes there are autos that are being taken out of other areas like in Will County, and then autos are ending up down in the Harvey, Phoenix kind of area. Being able to build relationships with these different departments, and as they identify the crews that are coming out and doing those crimes, they can put in a hot list on the vehicle that is coming out of, that has been taken out of Lombard or wherever. And then when that car passes a camera coming back into Harvey or into Dolton, it can send out a hot plate alert so that the officers here can then respond to those as well. Being able to share hot tag alerts and things like that is also a part of this.
So what would be really cool is if your reader can spot people that got expired plates. Does it do that?
So if you, so there are a couple different types of hot lists here. One is you're going to be integrated with the FBI's NCIC hot list, which is basically the national database, stolen vehicles, known gang members, anything that's on the FBI list. The Illinois leads list, which is the state list of stolen vehicles, warrants, all those things. So anytime one of those passes the camera, they'll send off a real-time alert to the police so they can respond. Now, the police can also create their own hot lists as well. So whether they're doing them for their own investigations, or if you have a list of places that you know are expired in your area and you want to make a stop on those, you can put those into your system and send out alerts on those as well. Flock will not, that's not something that Flock will be loading in for you automatically, but you can create all your own hot lists depending on what you want your police to be responding to.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, do you guys want to actually like see how one of these searches work, or do you guys just got a general idea of how the system functions?
Sure, let's do it.
Great. So I'm going to, where'd I go here? Oh, that's not the right one. Neither is that. I got way too many way too many tabs open. Yeah, so here we go. So I'm in a database here. I've got cameras set up in Springfield and in Cicero. So basically what you're doing here is when your team logs in, they're going to be able to choose what they want to look at. So which cameras, what time, and then what about it do they want to be searching for? So let's say there was a robbery down on Cicero Road over on Roosevelt. So we're going to pull that camera. It happened sometime today between 3 and 8 or 3 and 9. And let's pull all the vehicles that passed during that time period. So Cicero's a pretty busy road. It's about almost 6,000 vehicles. Obviously there's some night reads here, but I'm going to blow this up a little bigger for you. I'll pull the oldest ones first so we can see some day reads here. So this is all the cars that passed here. And you're doing your investigation and someone says, you know what? There was a strange black car in the area. Never seen that black car before. So when you come in here, it's kind of like a Redfin type thing where it'll show you how many of each one of these different options there are. But we'll go ahead, we'll pull all the cars and all of the, that's make, all the black cars. So we just went from 6,000 vehicles and a couple clicks for the department down to just the 300 that were black cars. And you're continuing your investigation and the police, and you think that, you know what, this seems very similar to a crime that's done by a black Honda car. Come in and pull the, I guess it doesn't really matter, but black Honda. And we just went from the 6,000 vehicles that were going up and that were there down to just the 24 black Hondas that crossed during that time period. So it's that quickly for them to basically take in their information as they're doing their investigation, and then identify the vehicle, attempt to identify the vehicles involved. Now, does anyone have any questions around any of that?
No, but I'm loving your software.
Thank you. Now, I can get there's some other stuff too here, but that's really the big piece of it from the investigation side. The other side is the hot tag side. So you have all those hot lists. If a stolen vehicle or someone involved in a crime or has a warrant out, or if you want to put in additional reasons on your own that you want to have hot list ping. Basically what I didn't have it set up for this presentation, but let me just I'll pull it up real quick what this looks like. So and the latency on these cameras is between 12 and 20 seconds. And we can either send that out as a text message, an email, send it directly to dispatch, or put this directly in the squad cars. And again, all this is included. This is part of the $2,500 per camera. But an officer in their car will get a picture of the plate, a picture of the vehicle, location, direction of travel, and why they've hit off the hot list. So in near real time, they'll be able to respond and attempt to make a stop, drive the person out of the area, what have you. I understand. I believe you guys have your own dispatch center, if I remember correctly. So they basically kind of have a bird's eye view. It's kind of almost like Google Maps with all of your cameras. Whichever one hits, it basically lights up red, why it's buzzed, and then they can dispatch out if you'd prefer to run through dispatch. And that's kind of the highlights.
Dan, can you talk a little bit about what if a FOIA request comes in?
Yeah, so there are a couple. We've actually worked pretty extensively with civil liberty groups to design a more, it's called a friendly LPR system. And the two biggest complaints about license plate reading software has always been, one, it's an indefinite collection of an indefinite database of passively captured information. So you're just driving through and you're just in this database forever. And two, that the companies that are collecting them are then reselling the data to third parties and then making money, basically turning your citizens into the product. Flock does not do either of those. First of all, Flock stores every capture on CJIS certified Amazon Web Servers for 30 days. During those 30 days, your department or anyone you're sharing with can access those for 30 days. But if they do not save an image off there, that is purged. And that data is gone. It's gone. So they cannot, anything that's after 30 days, it's not there anymore. Two, the city of Dolton owns the data, not Flock. So you're buying the data from Flock. So Flock can't even resell this data even if they wanted to. So there is no reselling and turning your citizens into a commodity, and you guys own the data. From a FOIA side, what that means is that because this data only lasts for 30 days and it's stored on Amazon web servers that are not your guys' property, if a FOIA request comes in for LPR information, the city's only responsible to turn over information that or searches that the police department has done. So like you can't just be like, this is my wife's license plate, what cameras has it pinged off of? Because basically for the police department to create a record of that, they would have to run that search for the first time. And so you basically be creating that data to then have to turn it over. Whereas because these aren't on your servers, so it's an off-prem solution, and that search for that play has never been run, that's not a foilable piece of information. Does that make sense?
Yes, I have a question. We have a huge problem in town as relates to fly dumping. So I thought this would be actually really cool to catch the people as they dump in certain areas. If we put a camera up, does it work for that as well?
Yeah. So again, it has to do with do you know when it happened? And then basically do that search. So I'm guessing it's probably happened with a lot of like pickups and things like that. People driving around with stuff to pick up, maybe it's a couch or whatever. A couch shows up, go back to your which one was I in here? You can come back here. You don't have to look at them in these big pictures. You can search them on a medium card. Instead of looking for all your cars, you pull all the pickup trucks. There aren't any Honda pickup trucks. Honda doesn't make that. But you pull all the trucks, and then and you can see which ones were in the area, who's got stuff in the bed, all that, anything like that.
Okay.
You actually are also able to filter by. Today it's just sticker. Oh, sorry. Let me. Today it's just stickers, roof racks, and bike racks. but we are adding visible damage and auxiliary items in a car. So to this very second, you aren't able to like filter by stuff in a pickup truck, but that is something that's coming down the pipe.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as installation goes, from when you sign a contract, and then we will work with the police department to identify the locations that you guys are looking for. Anything that does not take an IDOT permit, we'll have in the ground in 3 to 5 weeks. IDOT permits take about 6 weeks, maybe more. I see your smile. Sounds like you've dealt with IDOT before. So that is, we're kind of at the mercy of IDOT there. Your PPI will start when we install all the cameras that do not need IDOT permits. But again, we will we will help you contract with an IDOT certified engineering firm for your permits, and Flock covers that cost.
Okay.
As Chief, was there anything else that you wanted me to touch on?
No, you've covered everything, and you did a great job at it. I appreciate it, Dan. Thank you.
No problem.
Well, thank you, Dan. Board of Trustees, do you have any questions? Okay, hearing none. Are you guys ready to move forward with this, or you want to hold off until the budget? Board of Trustees.
I'd like to hold off until the budget.
Okay, is that everyone? Everyone wants to hold off to the budget?
Yes.
Okay, that was Steve's.
I have
Yes.
one question. This 'cause this presentation, either I have missed it or I didn't see it, either I missed it in the packet. But can this presentation be sent via email to the board? And if I missed it, my apology. Please resend it to me.
I mean, I can package this up and send it to the chief. I didn't record this, but I believe the presentation is recorded. But yeah, I can send you this packet as well as any additional information you might request from me.
Thank you.
Well, Dan, I thank you so much. This was a wonderful presentation. I look forward to you coming on with the village. I'm interested in it. I'm praying that the board do agree with it. It will help us in a number of ways, especially with fly dumping. That's one big issue here in town. Now we can catch people and they can stop doing it. And then also with the police department in itself. So thank you again for coming on and giving your presentation. Hopefully you'll hear from us by next week. And thank you, Chief Collins, for putting this on and bringing some kind of structure to the village police department.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
Mayor, before Dan leave, can I ask a question?
Yeah, shoot.
So I see it's a 5 camera minimum, correct? So when we do make the decision, we just need to keep in mind that it'll be the 5 cameras minimum.
Yeah, that is a 5 camera minimum.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dan. Thanks, Chief.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dan. We'll let you exit off the Zoom now. I
Thank
appreciate it once again. And I'll hear from Chief once you send him the package over.
Great. Have a good rest of the day.
You too. Thank you. Okay. Now, okay. Woo, this is a long meeting. Okay, so again, I'm just reminding the Board of Trustees, can y'all please get y'all questions and everything answered before the board meeting? Because it's 10 o'clock and it's too late. We need to be out of here literally within an hour of having a board meeting. So now to go on to our department heads. Thank you, department heads, for sticking on this Zoom call. I will start with Chief Collins. You want to go first? Give your report because you've been hanging on. So.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
All right, you're welcome.
Trustees, Madam Clerk. Okay, this is the statistics from the police department for the month of May. Traffic citations that were issued, 224. Village ordinance citations that was issued, 326. There was 105 total arrests, that is misdemeanors and felonies combined. Officers recovered 3 guns based off of traffic stops, And they also recovered a programming device that's used to duplicate keys to steal cars, which is a very good catch. If we can keep getting those off the street, maybe we can stop a lot of these car thefts. We conducted a roadside safety check on May 29th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. There were multiple citations and arrests that were made by the officers that participated. That was a very good job on their part. Officers did conduct another walk and talk out in the neighborhoods. We received some positive responses and even for some feedback from a neighbor that said that their area had been calm since we did that walk and talk. And we will be planning more walk and talks out there in the neighborhoods. And actually, when Dan was giving his presentation, he spoke about an incident that occurred at Club O in the city of Harvey. So Thursday night, there was an incident where there was a large fight, and it resulted in a police officer being shot. That officer is okay. He's at home resting, but ask if you can just continue to keep him and his family in your prayers for a speedy recovery, and that he can get returned to duty as soon as possible. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief Collins. Is Public Works Superintendent Stacy?
Yes, I'm here, Mayor.
Okay.
You ready for me?
Yes.
All right. This is a Public Works productivity report for May 2021. Public Works has installed, checked, and repaired 33 street lights and 10 street signs. Public Works has installed 2 light poles on Sibley. An additional 5 light pole basings have been poured for light poles to be placed, new light poles to be placed. Public Works has cut down 28 trees and have trimmed 9 trees. Public Works has repaired 6 water shutoff B boxes and 2 water main breaks. Public Works has also restored 9 properties after water main breaks. The loader has done 40 debris pickups. Public Works has repaired potholes throughout the village, street swept several streets and routes. Public Works has checked, cleaned, and repaired several sewers. Public Works has performed 4 emergency water shutoffs. Public Works has cut the grass and weed whacked for 49 vacant and/or vacant properties or lots. Public Works mechanics have performed 1 job on 1 fire department vehicle, 3 jobs on 3 police department vehicles, and 14 jobs on Public Works vehicles, along with miscellaneous jobs that come into the shop. As a reminder, please put your garbage out the night before your garbage pickup day, along with any debris you may have. Note, Homewood Garbage Disposal has resumed yard waste and branch pickup as of April 1st. Make sure your waste is in brown bags and not plastic bags. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach the Public Works Department at 708-201-3280. Our business hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. That concludes my productivity report.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent Stacy. So next
Thank you,
we
Mayor.
have Housing Director Sharon Harris.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees. For the housing report, I'm going based on the transactions that we received for the month of May. We had 18 as-is sale inspections. We received 27 escrow deposits. We received payments for 76 housing tickets. And we've also had transactions for 114 rental inspections, as well as 97 rental licenses. And we've also issued at least 64 transfer stamps. In addition, we've also received the transaction amount from ProChamps in regards to 53 vacant properties that they have justified receiving, issuing payment for. That concludes my report.
Chief Pete McCain had emergency to go to, so he's not on to report. And then I see we have Ron Smith here, our engineer. Ron, you can give your report. Ron, are you there?
I was hitting the unmute button, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you this evening. I've been working hand in hand with the village administrator, Dorothy Brown, also Superintendent Stacy, on putting together the following infrastructure projects: a sidewalk project, a alley project, a roadway project. Currently, there's a lighting project in the works, and I've been reviewing the sewer videos with Superintendent Stacy. And also, there was a grant opportunity was available, and so for some sewer funding, so we try to take care of some of the sewers that are collapsing throughout the village. So those are the projects that we're aggressively approaching, whether it's through MFT funding or whether it's through grant funding, so we can start on some of these projects and address some of the village's infrastructure needs. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Next, we have Code Enforcement, Brian Thigpen.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
As far as code enforcement goes, we have, for the month of June, we have written 165 grass and tall weed tickets. We have written 50 abandoned vehicle tickets. We have also written 47 overhanging tree limbs and branch tickets. We have written 17 stop work tickets. And just for a point of information, with the Code Enforcement Division as well as the CSO with the police department, we are currently accepting applications for block club permits and community events. I have received several applications for the upcoming next 8 weeks. So if anyone wants to have an event, feel free to go online and download the block club permit at vodalton.org and just get it back to me so I can have the proper departments approve it. Also, I would like to mention that we are having a severe growth of alley grass and trees, and we ask that all residents please take heed. We are issuing citations for that. Just make sure that you keep the alleyways properly cleaned and trimmed up. That concludes my report for tonight.
Okay, thank you, Brian. That concludes all the reports here today. Just as though Brian stated, residents, please cut your lawns. If you do not cut it, you will get a ticket. Code enforcement is out. And also, please buy your, I forgot you, Will. I'm coming to you, Will. Please buy your village sticker for your vehicle. They are on sale currently, so you need to get here and get it. Will, you have the floor for Water Department.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to serve with you and the trustees and Clerk Keys and the other department heads who have been extremely supportive. I want to thank Trustee Holmes, House, and Stevie for visiting the Water Department and seeing what we're doing and providing me with their well wishes and congratulations and having dialogue with me as to how to better improve and better serve the residents. So I thank you for that. This shows me your willingness to support, provide feedback, and to collaborate with us for the success and betterment of our residents. And again, I thank you. And I encourage and invite the other trustees to come and visit our department as well. This is a department that's the mayor's very passionate about. I'm passionate about changing that and pretty much putting that department back on track. I want to thank my team who works tirelessly every day serving the community during vehicle sticker season. And certainly I would like to extend my thanks to all of the residents who is on the meeting tonight, and those remain. And for those who have come out and have been extremely patient and understanding during vehicle sticker season. And for the residents who I've actually had the pleasure of speaking with, who has extended their well wishes to you, Mayor, and our department, such as Mr. Williams, Ms. Silas, who stated that she will fill out the complaint and compliment form online or actually in our lobby. And she wants to give us her recommendations for the improvements in the village and our department, and we welcome that. And as well as Ms. Sanders, who asked that, what are the chairs outside for? And I explained to her that they're there to accommodate the residents, specifically our seniors. If there are long lines, they can be seated until the next clerk is available to serve them. Under the mayor's direction and leadership, she wants to better serve our seniors. And according to the 2020 census, we have estimated 23,000 Dolton residents. 27% of them are seniors, roughly 6,210 seniors. So we've accommodated them by having our drive-through facility open for vehicle sticker purchases only, where we have trained clerks coming to their vehicles, assisting them with completing the vehicle sticker application if they need it, accepting credit card payments with an iPad so they can remain in their vehicles. If they have water bill payments as well as vehicle stickers or have other methods of payments such as checks, money orders, or cashier's checks, we ask that they pull up to the drive-through window and where a clerk is there who can assist them further. And for the seniors that choose to come into the facility, as I stated before, we have socially distanced seating areas outside to accommodate them until it's their turn to be served. And also, I go outside into the lobbies to want to thank the residents for their patience in waiting and providing an approximate wait time for them to receive service. Again, the types of payments that we can accept. At this time, we only payments methods we cannot accept is cash and American Express. So if the residents cannot wait and they have the methods of payments that we accept here in the village, we ask them to either go online to the Village of Dolton, their secure website at www.vodolton.org, or mail in their payments or place it in the drop box. Also during these announcements during peak time, the residents are asked to have their applications completed with the method of payment ready before getting to the billing clerk. This dramatically reduces the processing time at the windows. To date, we've sold 1,965 stickers, totaling 56,265. Now, this does not include the pet tags, animal tags, which are 53, which total 795. And as far as the meter reading is concerned, under the mayor's direction, again, was passionate about turning this department around. So with the collaboration of the village administrator, Public Works, IT, and other village department heads, we're putting together a comprehensive plan to dramatically reduce the water meter readings that are estimated. We are determined to put in place a process that will provide an accurate reading of the residents' water consumption. This plan is forthcoming. I've also implemented random resident appreciation days. On behalf of Mayor Henyard and the water department, occasionally, I will go into the lobby and just hand out safety materials such as PPE packets, a face mask, just to show our appreciation for our residents and just to also ensure them that we're still in the midst of a pandemic. We have our other resident appreciation campaigns also forthcoming, and I'll be also reaching out to other department heads to get some of their suggestions as well. Lastly, I'd like to just say to the residents, please continue to be patient. We hear you. We have complaint and compliment forms online at, again, www.vodolton.org, and in our lobby, encouraging you to let us hear from you in areas that we need improvement or what we are doing right. We have someone managing these inquiries and getting them to the right person in the departments to address and resolve your issues. So please be patient with us. We're putting together a comprehensive plan to answer all of your concerns. We're striving to be more customer friendly. We have upcoming customer service training for all of our clerks to build morale there. With our clerks, we have daily huddles where we set in place what our focus is for the day, the things that we need to improve on, and just how to be more customer friendly, more customer responsive, and provide customer satisfaction is our goal. So I'm excited to be a part of this historic administration, and I'm looking forward to serving the residents of Dolton. I'm passionate about it. I'm excited to be a part of this. And with that, this concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor. And this concludes our report.
Okay. Thank you, Will. So we're going to move on to mayor announcements. Woo-wee. I had a whole entire book for you, but it is 10:30. So I'm going to get to the main points just so you kind of know what's going on. And then I will post under the new pop-up communications my entire report that I was going to recite this evening. But first, I want residents to know that things are changing in the village of Dolton. We have a plan, and don't forget about our transition meeting on June 30th. It's via Zoom, and it's a town hall meeting. So residents can say suggestions, give concerns about whatever their issues are. But first, I want to start with, we implemented a new pop-up communications to residents. It's called a dashboard on our website. Please visit our website daily and you will find important information on our website. Next, you can now pay for village stickers and pet tags on our website. This will save you time when you come and pick up your village vehicle sticker. Next, the answers to the citizens address questions from the board meeting will be on the pop-up. I know we posted the last questions from the residents. To help us to address your complaints faster, please email it to us at complaint-compliment@vodalton.org. If you have suggestions for me, for my mayor transition team regarding how to improve Dolton, please email it to suggestionsformayor@vodalton.org. Also, please sign up for email and text alerts on the new pop-up communications to residents dashboard. Okay, let me see. Just get to the main, so I got an 8-page essay. Oh God. I want to start by saying, again, I am having a virtual transition town hall meeting on Wednesday, June 30th at 7 p.m. Details on how to register for the meeting will be provided on our website. Conwell Edison would like to use the parking lot of the Melanie Fitness Center as a staging area for their vehicles and equipment during the severe weather seasons for storms, hurricanes, and tornadoes. What this means is that the village of Dolton would have Conwell Edison in approximately for getting our lights turned back on during the outages. The vehicles and equipment will be used for other surrounding suburbs as well. Conwell Edison will send us an agreement letter to review and approve. They are aware that the village may be selling Melanie Fitness and that they will have to establish another location or get an agreement with the new owners when the time comes. Conwell Edison also has a virtual STEM home lab program for African Americans and Hispanic students. They only have 100 spots. So far, only one Dolton resident / student has signed up. If a student participate in 3 of the 3 STEM labs, then they will get a free iPad. Please go to our website at www.vodalton.org and sign up. To the Dolton business owners, soon you will be receiving a letter from me concerning a virtual business meeting. It is important that I meet with you to determine what your concerns are and your recommendations for improvements. Let me back up. I missed one for Conwell Edison. Conwell Edison has approved the Village of Dolton for ComEd Streetlights and Distressed Communities program. This program is free to the Village of Dolton. This means that all the street lights in the village will be upgraded to LED lights, which will be giving our village better lighting. Also, because we are getting LED lights, the light bill for the Village of Dolton will be lowered. The vendor being used has already completed work for Robbins, Burnham, Country Club Hills, Hazel Crest, Fort Heights. The vendor is one of their more experienced vendors, production distribution companies. Okay. We are in discussions about having resources on our website for residents, such as a job center where people can log on to find available job listings of the products and service offers by the Village of Dolton businesses, and listings of services offered by our non-for-profit agencies. Too often, people in need do not know where to go. We want to be a resource for the residents. All the businesses and agencies will be properly vetted. As you know, I have asked Police Chief Collins to have his officers do foot patrols in our neighborhoods. in an effort to stop and help prevent the violence. To bring awareness, it is going to take all of us to stop the violence in our village. I have organized a Stop the Violence March. It is going to be on Saturday, June 26th, which is coming up soon, guys. Make sure you register. Registration will start at 9 a.m. and the march will kick off at 11 a.m. And this will go from Food for Less, and then we will walk to the bridge and meet Thaddeus Jones on the bridge, which they are starting from Pete's and meeting us in the center. So please join us for the Stop the Violence March. And then also there will be other surrounding towns that will march with us: Riverdale, Dixmoor, Phoenix, and Harvey. Again, please come out and march with us. So I am super excited about this next thing I'm about to announce. Are you ready for it? I know everybody sleep. The Dolton fireworks are back. We are bringing back fireworks to the village of Dolton. The Dolton Park District and the Thornton High School 205 District, and of course, Thornridge High School are all working with us to put on a fireworks display. It will be Friday, July 2nd at Thornridge High School. The display will be in the football field, so feel free to come out, bring your blanket and chairs, and enjoy the fireworks show with your families. It has been over a decade since the fireworks has been here in town. And I would say, residents, I thank you for all your accolades as it relates to bringing the fireworks show back. I know you're happy and excited to have it, so am I. I know a lot of us go to other communities to watch the display, and I'm like, why can't we do it in our own backyard? So here we are. Next, ComEd continues to offer financial assistance for past due energy bills for customers. While funding lasts, whoever can demonstrate a financial hardship, here's the program. Residential Special Hardship Program up to $500. Nonprofit Special Hardship Grants up to $2,000. The CHAMP Program grants up to $1,000, and Small Business Assistance grants up to $1,000. Please keep your eye on our website because it contains very important information. Again, that website is www.vodolton.org. Now that I announced the good news items, I need to bring some things to everyone's attention that is very serious. So pay attention, guys. Before I start, I want y'all to know that COVID is still a threat to our health. I am asking that everyone follow the CDC in the state of Illinois and wear your mask when required and get tested. I am also asking everyone to get vaccinated. Please, please, to protect yourself, your family, and everyone else around you. I know we all want to stop wearing a mask. I know my baby don't like it, but we have to all get vaccinated. So if you need help with any of that, please reach out, guys. You can talk to Clerk Brown. Currently now we're working on bringing a truck out to vaccinate our town. So if you haven't done so and you want to, please reach out. No one, whether they are a resident or a non-resident, should be taking over someone else's land and using it regardless of the purpose. So just so you're aware, I'm not against any community involvement activities. If someone wants to do something like a project such as the community garden that was displayed over the weekend, you need to do your checks and balances and make sure that the property is yours, that you own the property. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot go and put a community garden or anything on someone else's land. You must find out who the owners are and make sure they either agree with what you're doing or ask permission. So currently, the community garden, we're trying to find out who owns the land, and I'm putting it on the record so you guys know. I'm hearing several different people, whether it's the village owns some, the mayor, Roddy Roger owns some, the land bank owns some. So I did advise the attorneys to look into that and tell us who owns which parcels. So I'm just making that clear because I see people popping up with community gardens and just taking over land that do not belong to them. So I would hate to be the bearer of bad news and say you have to remove the garden. So I'm asking you guys to please do your checks and balance, ask the village if need be, and we will help you find whoever the owner is and make sure that you're putting it on something that you truly do own. Most of the times when people buy property, you do get a survey. It tells you where your property line begins and where it ends. So I want you to take heed to that, residents, and make sure that you're not caught taking over someone's land. Next, Board of Trustees and also residents. I need everyone to know and understand there is no trespassing at the old Village Hall. I have been getting reports that someone is trespassing in the old Village Hall, whether you are an ex-employee or a resident. I don't understand how or why you're going in Village Hall or how you even got the code for that matter. So that's why I said you could possibly be an ex-employee. If you're caught trespassing, we will prosecute to the fullest extent of the law because you cannot go in a government building. Number one, unannounced. Number two, not even invited. So please know that you will be arrested. So I just want you guys to know that. Next, it was brought to my attention that someone who is a former Village of Dolton employee is wearing the Village of Dolton uniform, and that is considered impersonating a Village of Dolton employee. You cannot do that. Once you have been fired, you no longer work for the Village of Dolton. You cannot speak for the Village of Dolton, and you cannot put logos or anything of that nature on your clothing. So if you are doing that, I would advise you to stop or get rid of it because you do not work or represent the village. So again, please, if you're doing this, take heed to the warning. Anyone caught impersonating the Village of Dolton as an employee when you're an ex-employee will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So that is my bad news of information, but I just want to make sure that everyone had all the information going forward. I will post this on our website. If you have any questions or concerns, again, go to vo.dolton.org. And you can always contact myself or Clerk Brown if you're trying to reach the mayor's office with concerns or issues. That ends the mayor's, no, it don't. Okay, I must have got y'all committees. So as it relates to the committee's appointments, Board of Trustees, as follows. Committee appointments for fire will be Trustee Kiana Belcher. She will be the chair. For finance, it will be Jason House for chair. For Public Works, it will be Trustee Edward Steves. For youth, it will be for chair, Brittany Norwood. And for Melanie Fitness Center, it will be Trustee Tammy Brown. And for Community Police Safety, is that we got that word right, Chief? Is that what you wanted to call it? Just public safety? Okay. For Public Safety Committee, for chair will be Andrew Holmes. And also under public safety includes police and ASDA. We are bringing our ASDA program back, so it will be reported under that committee. That's the end of my reports. And then also Board of Trustee, I will email you everyone that sits on the committees with you. I just want to put that out so everybody can start working on their committees or talking to their chairperson so we can move forward. Before we adjourn, I know we had a couple of things as related to executive session. So if any department heads are on here and you want to exit, you can now. I appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for everything you have done for the Village of Dolton, and our residents appreciate you as well. So before we go to executive session, we will go to citizens address. I just wanted to announce that you guys know that's all on here. We have to do 2 matters in executive session. So Derek, we are ready for citizens address.
Mayor, if I can I be recognized for a quick moment?
Sure.
2 quick things that I intended on speaking on during maybe general announcements a little bit earlier. One is just a recognition to my brother, friend, the poet, Kevin Bowen, AKA The Messenger. Congratulations on his appointment to Dolton Park District. His swearing in is on June 15th. So for all those that are familiar with him, give him a good congratulations. Second thing was I've had the privilege over the last couple of weeks of having many more conversations with Clerk Key and more so than I've had interactions I had with the clerk's office. So the amount of things that have kind of come through that office and having come within 2 weeks and have 3 meetings and have all the meeting notes and things in place, I think sometimes we take for granted how difficult that can be. So wanted to give a shout out to my clerk who's just sitting there as professional as possible. See, it's a little late. I'm slumping down in my chair, but she's still up. So shout out to Clerk Key. Thank you very much for that, Mayor. Those two quick notes I wanted to bring on a positive note.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate that. So, Derek, are you on? You're ready for citizens address?
Yes. Before I begin, I have to make a disclaimer. I think that the YouTube chat may be limited to 2 hours because after a while it started dropping off stuff that was at the beginning of the meeting. So all of that stuff I do not see right now. I do believe that if we go back, and review the video, we'll be able to see those comments that came up in real time to review those. But I do want to say, if I do not read your question, please send that question to complaints-compliments@vodalton.org so that they can get added to the list and be posted on the website for all of the answers.
Yes. And just a reminder, guys, your questions will be read into the record and someone will email you regarding the answer, as long as you put an email address in. If not, it will be posted with our response on our website. All right, Derek, we're ready for you.
Okay. Were RFPs done for all vendors being used by the village? What is the date and time for the public hearing for the village fiscal 22 budget, fiscal year 22 budget? When will someone contact Miss Lenore Woods regarding her call about a broken speed bump? Will Dalton have a summer job program for the teens, 14-year-olds? When will the village be repaving the Ingle Place alleyway behind Melanie Fitness and the Dalton Water Tower? When will the speed bump for LaSalle Street be done? What is the code number for the ordinance that governs the special event funds, and where can a resident find the ordinance to read themselves? There's a lot of comments to go through. Can we ask our state legislators and county and federal representatives for emergency dollars for this safety hazard to our village? At least ask. Does the village not have an auditor or a compliance officer? I think this is in regards to that vehicle. Is it possible to sell the vehicle instead of repairing it and putting that money to good use? Will the cameras go out for bid? Who is chairing housing committee appointment? And that is it for what I can see now. And again, if I did not read your question, please send it to complaint-compliments@bodalton.org.
Okay, thanks, Derek. Okay, so again, residents, if you chimed in and you put a question in a queue, we will respond to the question and post them on our village website. Next, can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So move. Well, motion to go into executive session for personnel matters. No action to be taken.
There's a motion and second. Call the roll, clerk.
Trustee Holmes,
Aye.
trustee Norwood,
Aye.
trustee Steve,
Aye.
trustee Belcher,
Aye.
trustee House,
Aye.
and trustee Brown.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. If you could, Derek, everybody else can exit, all department heads. Thank you again for your time. I'll see you tomorrow and buy y'all lunch.
Good night.
Thank you again, and let us know when we're clear.
Thank you. Good night.
With the closed session.
So everybody needs to leave. Do we need to stop the live as well?
Yes.
Okay.